Hey guys, good evening, beautiful people. Hey, Obodo fam. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well today. Today is the day that the Lord has made, the much advertised show. I don't think I promoted any show like this show before. I have been talking about it and basically advertising it for God knows how long. And in my mind, I kept saying next week. My friend had to say, "Why do you keep saying next week? Is this Saturday?" Because I thought 16th is next week, Saturday. How's everyone? Can you guys hear me? Please confirm sound. Eh? Over the farm, can you hear me? Happy Easter, everyone. Good afternoon from the US. Good evening from Nigeria. And from the United Kingdom. Welcome to Obodo Ibo TV. My name is Auntie B. That's what everybody call me. And I've got in the studio today our very first panel discussion on this platform. And I'm going to start introducing, we've got one of our panelists who is going to join us in a minute. And I'm going to start from my sister, my friend. She's a professional nurse. She's a big time YouTuber and influencer. She's just launched her makeup line. And her name is Katia Velino. Hello,
Hello,
Katia.
everyone. Thank you for having me.
Happily married to an Igbo man with three, is it three or four? Three solid men. Those ones are not boys. They are not boys anymore. Three solid men. Those ones are men. All right. And right next to Katia, we have Samolu. You guys hear Samolu on the channel all the time. Me and him will always go back and
Hello,
forth
everyone.
when it comes to the issue of religion. Me and him will always go back and forth. But he's my brother, he's a friend's husband, and he's a very valuable member of the platform. Say hello to Sam. Welcome to Sam.
Hello, everyone.
Sam is one of the strongest advocates against bride price, and that's why he's here today to lend his voice to this panel discussion. Okay. All right. Thank you, Blessing. And right there at the top, sitting pretty, is Ify. Ify is an Obodo fan. She's based in the US. She's an Igbo woman, very accomplished. She's got a doctorate. She's got a PhD. I will say it because she doesn't. She's like, oh, we're on a first name basis here. No, she's very, very academically accomplished. So please welcome Dr. Ify to the studio.
Hello, everyone. I'm
Hi,
happy to be
Ify.
here. Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you.
just joining us, my friend, my sister, long time. We've been friends since OAU days back in the 90 Bororo. Is Chioma. Chioma is a barrister, she's a wife, she's a mother, she's a blogger, and she's here joining us from Abuja, Nigeria. Hello, Chioma.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Bridget.
I call your name sometimes on this platform. I feel like your ears will be tingling sometimes when you are at home. The way I mention Choma, Choma, Choma. The other day, the other day when all the Igbo men were fighting me, I kept calling Choma like you will come and defend me and stand for me.
It's crazy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today. So, guys, we're here to talk about bride price. Okay. Tonight, we are looking at everybody knows what bride price is. If you come from anywhere in Africa, Nigeria, and other African countries, you know what bride price is. But we are coming to talk tonight about, issues that people have identified that is associated with this payment of bride price. Okay. And a lot of people on social media are clamoring now for bride price to be abolished, saying that it equals, men thinking that they own women. It makes women, feel it makes men feel like women are property. So we're going to be talking about all those issues tonight, and we'll dig into it. And everybody has their respective opinion. Everybody's opinion is welcome, and we value it. And we just want to discuss about bride price. Is it time to abolish it? Is bride price, does it equate property? Does it make women feel like property? Particularly, does it make some men feel like they paid so much, to marry, and as a result, the woman belongs to them now, and they can do whatever they like to that woman? Is it leading to abuses in marriages? Those are all the issues that we want to talk about. So I'm going to start by going to Sam. Sam said, a little bit of the history about bride price. You say you did some bit of research. So tell us your understanding of bride price, because I know you are a Yoruba man, and bride price, although is the same, but what we pay or the processes are different across the different cultures in Nigeria. So tell us a little bit about your understanding of bride price, Sam.
Okay, I want to say I will start by letting us know that people use the word bride price and dowry interchangeably in Africa. And based on my research, bride price is different from dowry. So bride price is the amount of money. It can be in form of goods or it can be in form of labor that you pay from a groom to a bride's family, or from the groom's family to bride's family, when you have interest in marrying their daughter. So what you pay is what is coming from the groom to the bride's family in exchange of taking their daughter is what we call bride price. But the other way around is called a dowry, which happens in some part of Africa and mostly in Asia, and in historical Europe, they also practice dowry system. The dowry system is what is paid to from the bride's family. What is given to the bride when she's getting married is paid to the groom's family. So this mostly when dowry is paid, it goes to the bride and the groom to start their new life. That
Right.
is something that they're giving to them to support them to start a new life.
I
All
see.
other members of family give them some kind of gift, which
Yeah.
is a bit better than bride price if you really look and do the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So in the bride price in Africa is something that is common in every part of Africa, in the north, south, east, or west of South Africa. In South Africa, they call it Ilobola, something like that. And in Kenya, I don't know the particular name they call it. They have their own form of bride price. Mostly, bride price are given in forms of agricultural products. Some can be in a livestock,
Mm-hmm.
like animals and all those stuffs, which they pay. And in the process of doing these things, the negotiations are done by men. So it's more or less like a transaction that you are paying this livestock, poultry, goods, and all those stuffs in exchange for a woman, and the woman doesn't have a say when they are doing all these negotiations. It's a part of Nigeria or something. The initiative was a very good idea. It wasn't not meant to, it wasn't meant for people to take advantage. It was something like a symbol. It was symbolism, something that to show that appreciation that we have spent so much money on our daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and who are appreciating us. That's why we are giving this gift. But over time, we realize that this thing has been abused by people, especially member of the family, the kinsmen, using the opportunity to enrich themselves. Greed has come in, and it has also make it a form of commercializing women, making women an essential commodity that you doing a transaction, make it now transactional, and
Okay.
to humanize women,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
also promote it promote patriarchy that in the society, making women to be the lesser being between both genders. So
All
that's
right.
the big issue of the bride price that I've done.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sam Olu, our brother. Appreciate that background information. So going on quickly because of time, I'm going to go to Chioma. Choma, you and I have had some private conversation about bride price, and you said to me that in Igbo land, from your own experience, it depends on the family. And tell us a little bit about, how, you feel like the impact it has from families to families. And if you feel like if someone has to pay more, if a man has to pay more, does that necessarily impact on the kind of treatment that she's going to get, and the wife is going to get, the daughter is going to get from the man that is married? And for you, you told me about your own case whereby your dad didn't take much, even though he's an Igbo man, and you even gave it back to your husband. So, what are the issues around charging different prices and different saying bring this the list? There's this one, the big one is the list. And people tell us here on the platform all the time that the umuna and the umwada has to be settled. As a matter of fact, if he was telling us that there are some umwada that are actually waiting now for her to get married, for them to collect their own. So tell us a little bit about that your understanding of it, especially as it leads to the abuse that we're talking about in marriages today.
Thanks, Bridget. We had a chat about it, and one thing I have realized is that my own experience is not typical of the typical person from the East. I grew up in Lagos. My parents were, quite enlightened and all of that, and they might have done things a bit differently. So for me, my father, he took whatever bride price was given, and he gave it right back because he just felt, look, are we selling? And so what are we doing? There's no need for this. Just do whatever needs to be done to appease the umuna, but for me, I'm good. And I definitely was not for sale. But as I've spoken to different people, for instance, I have this employee who got married a few years ago. He's from the East. He married a girl from somewhere in the North, and he said, why he married her was not because he was in love with her, or because her own bride price they cheap. Make you buy the one, let you marry the one you can afford. That for my side, I know I can't cope. I can't cope with the girls from my place. It's just too much.
The one you can afford.
What he can afford. So for him, it was like property. Those were the words he used. And I remember the day he went for his trial and came back and he said, ma, it's all done now. I've carried my property to my house. Those were his words. I said, property. He said, yes, my wife. No, I don't carry him. Go house. I don't pay for her. And I was just like, look at this stupid guy. He was laughing. It was like a joke. But when people are laughing in their humor, you can see that they actually mean what they're saying.
Absolutely.
Again, a colleague of mine, a guy, this is a lawyer like me, and he was just saying, he said his wife is chattel. Chattel is property. So in fact, I even got to take loan with her now. He was joking again. Again, it was a joke. But like I said, when people are saying things through humor, because the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So these are all interesting things that I started seeing that maybe your own scenario is kind of different, Chioma. Don't just assume that people are seeing this thing the same way. Because for some men, I know, I've heard of families where they say, look, these people, we tax them so much. How is my father going to be able to pay back if I say I'm not doing again? How possible? Because we put this long list, we asked for so much. But there was one I know that was really, really interesting. But thankfully, the guy is a really good guy. They asked him the list was from here to there. They asked him for a huge amount of money, running into millions. And after his honeymoon, his father-in-law said, I think I asked you for, I think the amount I asked you for was too low. It's obvious you have money because you even traveled abroad for honeymoon. So you need to pay more for my daughter. Made her seem like a commodity. For goodness sake. I think that he's a very God-fearing, very enlightened young man. That's the kind of person that he will remember with pain, how he had to look for money, ask people to even lend him money because he wanted to marry her. And the day she said something that annoys him, he said, look, after all, I paid for you. So those are things that are enter into people's psyche that make them, after all, she belongs to me. I've married her. I've paid her bride price. So, to be honest, Bridget, I won't lie to you. The first day someone told me, oh, we need to abolish bride price, I said, look, it's not everything you must kill now, leave our custom.
Yeah, but I was like that too. I was of that opinion before.
Honestly, but now I'm beginning to think more. There's something called the repugnancy doctrine in law, and it has to do with our customary law, where there's some laws where they are repugnant to natural justice and other things, public policy. You should actually think of abolishing them. And I think for this bride price of a thing, it might belong to one of those laws of that is actually repugnant. If people are going to use that as a stool or as a lever to say, oh, I own this woman because I have married her and I have paid for her. They're not saying they paid bride price. They say I have paid for her. That's the kind of words you hear from and like I said, leave the men who are very enlightened, or leave the men who are very old. He's born again, or he's a good Muslim. No, I'm talking about the men, this typical man who's already very patriarchal in his views. His just feels that, oh, I own you because I'm a man. In fact, some men even feel that because they are men, they're better than women. Then you now add the fact that he had to pay bride price, he had to borrow money, he spent on you, paid the whole dinner and the whole as in all the umada, he has them in his pocket, and then you come and tell him what, and so it's, crazy things. Somebody recently, this is a few years ago, a lady was assaulted by her husband, and his sister came to beg her and said, "Nne, hey, my darling, I'm sorry for what my brother did, but he has married you. He has married you. Even if he kills you, your husband." That was what she was saying. She was pleading. He's your own diggy, anyhow. And I was just like, what kind of nonsense is that? It's, some things I hear, I'm like, is this for real? But then I realized that my own scenario, my own life is not a a reflection of the average Nigerian. So I real. But when I speak to one or two people, that yes, these things are actually impacting. People are actually thinking, yes, I am better than her. Yes, I own her. Yes, she belongs to me, body, soul, and spirit. And then guess what? She belongs to you. The children are answering your name, but then you're locking your phone. So she cannot access your phone. You're hiding everything from her. You can do as you like. Meanwhile, you own her. She's your property. It's a ridiculous concept. But honestly, and we spoke about it as well, especially from the East. You see these women going through so much. They think of that thing. Hey, they've paid my bride price. In fact, some the families will say, we will not return the bride price.
Yeah.
Even if that's your business, we will not return that bride price because it's simple. Or there's
We're
no
going to
divorce.
come to that. Yeah, we're going to come to how the returning of the bride price when a marriage ends or when a marriage breaks down, how that impacts again on the woman. Because if the family cannot return the bride price, that's another issue. Because according to the tradition and custom in most Nigeria, not only in the eastern part of Nigeria, when a marriage ends, you need to return the bride price. So that's another issue we'll come to. Thank you so much, my darling Chioma. Now I'm coming to you, Katia, my sweetie. You are from is it Anambra State? You're from Anambra State, right?
Yes,
You're
I
from
am from
Anambra.
Anambra State, so I'm going to be speaking of what I know. I have to
Yeah.
start by talking from what Sam Olu said, that bride price is dowry, like when you marry a woman, right? It's like a culture, a tradition.
Excuse me, it's not dowry. They are different. They are
The way
opposite.
they use it, the way they use it in Nigeria, they use it interchangeably in Nigeria.
So define what bride price is and what dowry is.
No, in Nigeria, Sam, is the same in Nigeria. The way the word is used the same way in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dowry and bride price, it's the interchange. It's the same. So what I'm saying here, I'm going to speak specifically from where I was born, and I'm going to touch a little bit from other parts of the eastern part of Nigeria. I am born in Onitsha. I'm an Onitsha woman married to Nnewi. Dowry in my town where I was born is 35 naira, which is
Nnewi. Is it Nnewi in Anambra State?
Yes.
Okay.
35 naira is less than $1. This is
right.
a town Onitsha. Whether you go to university or you're selling crayfish or you have PhD or you have elementary school, is $35. No other list attached. If the in-laws want to bring other stuff, it's entirely up to them. When I got married, it was 35 naira. After the whole traditional thing, my father gave us back 20 naira and said to my husband, take care of my daughter with 20 naira. So Onitsha people and Edo people have some similarity. I know that in Edo, it's about 30 naira or something like that they use as bride price.
True. We don't really charge much.
Or dowry. So let me touch a little bit of the other part of Igbo, which people are slamming their head on. It's Mbise people. These people.
That's in Imo. Is that in Imo?
Imo State. Yeah. So the dowry there, the way I understand how they do it is that they look at the level of education the woman has attained.
Yes.
So they charge you, they bill you according to how much money the parents spent on
educating
her, and they will also come with a whole bunch of lists, like 10 or 20 pages. The Omoada are the women that are born in that village, but they are married somewhere else. They are called the Omoada. So they will also have inputs on how they have to send you to husband. They're sometimes the Omoadas are more powerful than the men. They say, and when they say their word is final, the Omoada, then this bride price from certain part of Imo State is where they put you, where they give you the bill according to the level of education that you as the woman have. On the contrary as well, because it's not something that is evil.
It's not uniform. It's not uniform. There's no fixed price. Yeah. So the family will determine how much. Each family will determine how much they are going to bill the prospective son-in-laws.
Yeah. It's like bidding. Here, this is patriarchy. They are bidding a woman for how much money they are selling her for, because it's bidding. They will bid and bid and bid and bid. Some people will start like 10 million naira plus the list. Some people will start from 5 million naira.
So they actually negotiate. They negotiate the price.
Yes.
Oh my God.
They negotiate the price. They will come. If you have a father that is very influential, he doesn't have to be rich or whatever, but if he comes out to the society, to the community, and do things with the village people and stuff like that, when the negotiation started, your father has to win because the community already have that respect for him. You know what I mean? So there is no fixed price for bride price in Igbo land, and this is what is driving me crazy. It's like bargain. You go to auction, whoever puts the biggest bid buys the commodity. Women are not commodity. We are human beings. We are individuals. But what I'm thinking is that if the bride price doesn't have to be abolished, but they have to mend it.
Right. So you are not of the opinion that we should abolish it yet.
No, because it's a part of culture. If they have to say that it's 100 naira, let it be that 100 naira so that everybody will have peace of mind. But I don't like the opinion that this person paid 2 million, this person paid 1 naira, this person paid for what?
Right. Okay.
It's a bully.
Right.
So
thank you very much. Thank you, Katia. Let me go to Ife. Ife, you don't happen to be from Mbise, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not from Mbise now.
Okay, yes. Because I would have said that now your heart will be palpitating because you are thinking with all this education that you have now, how much are they going to quote? I mean, generally, I already kind of get your stand on the matter, but I like you as an Igbo girl, brought up, educated, exposed, enlightened, and you're not married yet. What is your view about this whole bride price situation?
Well, my view is that there should be a regulating body or some kind of consensus, decision about what bride price should be. I mean, Katia here mentioned that in Anambra State, in Onitsha, they pay $35 or 35 naira, I can't remember.
35 naira.
35 naira. I remember when my brother went to Edo State to get married to the wife, he paid just 20 naira. And that 20 naira was returned to him. And that woman has a voice in her home today. And the reason why she has a voice in her home, why she has a say, is because nobody bought her. Now, this bride price thing is not even limited to Mbise alone. I am an Igbo girl. I'm not from Mbise, but there is the part where you have to pay according to how educated the girl is.
Right.
And this is something that I've decided not to allow to bother me because I choose my battles. I pick my battles, and I feel like it is totally unnecessary to inflate bride price.
Right.
I'm sure when they started this culture in Igbo land or in other parts of Nigeria where they started it, they probably started paying 1 naira, 2 naira, 35 naira, 20 naira. And somebody sat somewhere and said, hey, we have to make business from this thing.
Yeah.
And we have to make it higher. Let's take it to the millions. And that's why people are paying in millions.
Yeah.
So I am against it. I am against paying bride price that is atrociously high. Something that is totally making a statement of, we are selling our daughter. How much do you have to buy her? Right. It is heartbreaking when I hear Choma mention how, women are being, they take a bid on women. Like, hey, so how much you want pay? And somebody says, not 2.5 million I get. Oh, take it to 3 million. I mean, anyone who has attended an auction here, you know how they do it. Take it for 50, 50, 50, going for 50, 100, 100. I mean, you do that for furnitures, you do that for arts, paintings, and stuff like that. You don't do that to human beings, you don't do that to women, but it has become a norm. And another
Right.
thing, Auntie B, that I want to quickly add is that other cultures are, stylishly embracing this Igbo style of charging people excessively for money. My brother recently got married to a girl from Benue State, and I was amazed at how much the bride price had to be. I asked, is this girl an Igbo girl? My brother said, no, she's from Benue State. So how come you guys are paying so much for a bride price? Now, this has become an acquired culture.
Yeah.
People are beginning to use Nigeria's hardship, the terrible situation of the economy, to embrace this. So I am totally against it as long as it is not regulated. If it's not like what they have in Onisha, in Anambra, then we should scrap it. If it's not going to be $35 for somebody who has a PhD and $35 for somebody who has a secondary school certificate, scrap it. It is pointless. You are literally selling your daughter with bride price, the whole thing, the whole shebang.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I understand where you're coming from, Ify. I'm going to come to you, Katya, again before I come to because I want everybody to have a say. I'll come to you, Katya, because you said something. You said that you are not for abolishing it. Because someone like Samolu and myself, I was around your corner before saying, oh, it's culture, it's tradition, our forefathers have done it, it's not harmful. Because I didn't know about this harmful part of it whereby it's become an auction, people are trading and, bidding. And someone actually said, I did a video about it a while ago where this honorable in the House of Reps said, the women in Imbise and those areas are not getting married because people cannot afford to pay those bride prices. So you find a conflict of today in today's society. These women are pushing hard to educate themselves. Their parents are educating them. They are breaking boundaries, trying to be, women that are, breaking barriers to become, successful in every areas academically, in arts, in culture, in music, in science. And the other side of it is that while they are doing that, they are thinking, oh my God, how much is my dad going to charge now? With every accomplishment, with everything I achieve now, my value is going up. So that means if my value is going up, my bride price is going up. And you are saying now, Katya, that you don't think they should abolish it, but there should be a uniform. Do you think, knowing our people, and I want you to think about it critically, knowing where we come from, okay? Do you think that will work in a place like Nigeria, where a king or a government legislation will now come and say, oh, in this city today, oh, this is, take 30 pounds or 30 naira for bride price? Do you think that will work?
You know why I think it's gonna work? Traditional marriage rituals is different from bride price. Do you understand what I mean?
Is bride price not part of the traditional marriage rituals?
No, it's not, because a bride price, the money, they're gonna put it in a tray with some cola nuts. This is why it's a tradition, and serve it and do some the traditional things that goes with it. Why I'm saying that the traditional marriage rituals is now where they do a shebi, they throw big parties, they do with millions of money. That one is separate. It's entirely up to the groom and the wife how they want to celebrate. But the core thing that I'm talking about is that kola nut thing that has to do with the tradition of who we are. They do the white wine, right? If in Mayocha, they do the Mayocha the thing, right? So if you are not Igbo and you have not been to where they do the core thing, the traditional marriage.
Is it the one they give the wine to the bride? The bride brings the wine for the groom to drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you scrap it away, it means that there is no tradition.
Can you do that one without paying bride price, without exchange of money?
I wish I'm in the position to say that, but what I know is that the beauty of being married or traditional is that small thing when they will give you wide range
wine,
for your husband and stuff like that. But however, In some places, the day for the dowry bride price is a different day. It's not necessarily
Yeah,
done in the
because the
same
payment
day.
is actually done indoors, isn't it?
Yes,
It's not
yes.
done outside. In
Like,
all cultures, even mine was done inside the house.
yes,
The
yes,
ceremony is outside, but the payment is inside.
yes. So the payment is inside. In Onitsha, where I was born, it is done the same day. They will do everything. They will do it inside, and they'll come out and do the dance or
Dance,
whatever.
yeah, and the
But
party.
in Nnewi, where I'm married to, they do it in 2 different days.
Right.
They call it imego, right? Ifi, yes, and Chioma, you guys can identify to that. Imego, kejemego wine. So when really they're doing the imego, the outsiders are not inside the room.
Invited.
It is
Yeah.
only the clan, the omona, the omoada, the mother of the bride, the father of the groom will be. It could be like 10 people. It
Yeah.
is done inside that room, and this is where that core tradition takes place. If some people will have wine carrying, they will have wedding in some cultures, but you see that traditional, the imego, they can still come back after some time and do the imego.
Yeah. I know
Remember,
that.
remember that the white wedding is brought to us from this part
Mm.
of the world.
Yeah.
So if you take away that culture of
Mm.
of dowry,
Mm-hmm.
where it doesn't exist. So what I'm saying is to uniform that.
Yeah.
And I would tell the women who are not married yet, it is time for you to call your parents and sit down and have some words with them, because there is no uniform. Somebody cannot walk into your father's compound and tell your father, and your husband to be cannot come in and your father will tell them how much they have to pay. On the contrary, it's not only your father that makes that decision.
Yeah. That's true.
It is
That's
your
true.
father
It's
and the clan.
the entire family, the umuna.
Yes.
Your
But
father's family. Yeah.
it is also left for your father to tell the clan, to tell the guys, the boys, or the men, or the chief, whatever they are called. Listen, my people, I am not selling my daughter. I have decided this is what we are going to do for the bride price. If you guys want party or us to dash you guys money, that would be something different. So women needs to start speaking up to
Picking
their
up.
own
Yeah.
parents.
Okay. Thank you, Katia. I appreciate that. I'm coming to you, Chama, and Samolu. I'll come to you after that. The Theophil Ebele is saying that in Igbo land, the marriage list is the problem, not the bride price. And what do you feel, Chama? Do you think this uniform thing will work? Will people agree for anybody to tell them to take a uniform amount, knowing how egoistic our people are? You leave your house and go and tell if it's family that okay, oh, Igwe said there is only 20 naira you should take now. They will tell you, did you help me to train my daughter when she was going to university?
I quite agree with my two sisters who have spoken. The truth is that these things vary from state to state. But just to make things uniform, I think it would be good to just scrap the whole thing, honestly. Like I said, for me, I never used to hear of people asking for millions. It sounded so crazy the first time I heard it. When my cousin went to mention for me most, I was like, really? Is that possible? But for uniformity, just say, you know what? But the customary part, these things are all very arbitrary. That's the honest truth. The customary part, the whole banquet of carrying wine, we can keep. Those are all beautiful parts of our culture that we can keep. Because
Yeah.
the honest something that Dr. Ife said about us acquiring culture. Culture is very fluid. You
Yeah.
will see that that we do in the East, even from the name, it's not an Eastern culture. It was derived from the South. Even the huge burials that we do in Anambra State, originally there was nothing like that. If we ask
Right.
our grandparents, there was nothing like huge burials. It was something acquired, by these traders from the Southwest who had already mixed with people in Lagos, where they have huge ceremony, and they brought it. It now looks like it's a normal thing. If you don't bring cow, for burial, you've not done anything. These are all acquired cultures. So the same way we acquire good, loud things, we can acquire all sorts of things. It's left for us to say, what part of this culture do we want to keep? The part of going around with the wine is so beautiful. I love it. That's
Yeah.
like the best
Even
for me.
non-Nigerians have started doing it now. That's how beautiful it is.
Beautiful. So the whole imego, for my wedding, the imego was done that day, the same day of the traditional marriage. So people can choose how they want to do things. Once upon a time, you had to do your trad in your village. Nowadays, even people who are so conk Easterners, they do trad in Lagos, they do trad wherever they live. So these things can be fluid. It's really about what you want. Like someone said, if your father says, you know what, my child is not for sale, you should all go and sleep. People will sleep. People for them, for a lot of people in the village, because of the social economic situation,
Yeah.
weddings
Yeah.
are a way to make money.
It's a
When
way
my
to
mother
make money. Yeah.
when my mother died, it was ridiculous. I remember I went to meet one woman. I said, this list, I didn't bring the soap. The soap is not complete. I said, no, you must bring that soap. It must be
Who
complete.
came up with this list? And is the list the same thing for the whole town, the whole village, or the whole
What happened?
town?
Actually, they thought that we could bring that list. I went to meet another woman and she said, people, you people should leave her alone. What she has brought, accept it. And it was accepted. These things are arbitrary. You cannot tell me that everybody must be is asked to. They look at you and they rate you and think this person has money.
Who
Oh,
can
they're in
afford
town.
it?
Oh, they're in America. Oh, they're here. So therefore, they can afford this thing. And for some funny parents, they see that my child is my meal ticket. All these girls that my wife gave birth to, and let me make
And
money
use
from
it to
them. Now,
collect bride price.
all these things,
They start counting all the money they will pay.
I, apart from the money, because the bride price for some places is an issue. Even the list, those lists, who designs those lists?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to know.
Is the Umada? Is the Umada? Let me.
When
I
I
don't
got
know.
married,
Let me tell you
Katia,
something.
when I got married, there was no list in my village.
No, no.
But guess what?
Okay.
We have a
I
list
don't.
now.
Okay.
Is there,
They don't
but
have. They don't have list in my
US,
name.
There's
We
a
don't
list
have
now in my
list.
village, but they didn't have list when I was getting married.
Franchise
they've left
BP,
it
the hardship is they are trying to extort money from one way or the other.
on. And they'll say, oh, we've not seen this girl in London for how many years? Now she has come for wedding. Let us extort
But then
everything
you
for
pay all the money you've not sent to them, you pay it all at
you will
once.
that day. And if somebody else comes and they think the person has more money, they will write a longer list. And
So
so it's very arbitrary. There's no hard, so we can just say, you know what, let's be done with these things. All the beautiful aspects, the kola nuts, the outfits, we can leave all those things intact, but things that have to do with pecuniary gains over marriages,
This
we should have to think.
this is why when you go to Imo State, I'm not trying to pick on Imo State especially because I live in Imo State, so you see so many beautiful, educated
girls,
young girls
yeah.
walking the street, no husband, because the list and the dowry and everything is so much. Sorry
Katia,
to digress a little bit.
yeah.
When this topic came out, the first thing that came to my mind, it could be the reason why Tonto Dike paid her own dowry and stuff like that. If the bill was
Too
20
much.
naira,
If he's
20 naira,
laughing.
Church here will pay that. But
Yeah.
I think that when they make this thing very high, you know, outrageously so high, beating women, selling
Yeah.
women as slaves, so many men cannot afford that. They
Yeah.
would
And
tell you,
in addition to that, Katia, sorry to cut in. When I was growing up, we used to see that Igbo men don't marry on time. Okay? Because in some parts of Nigeria, like where Samolu comes for, 20-year-old men are married, some of them, and they marry very early. So when you see a man that is 40, 45, going 50 is not married, we're like, wow, why is he not married? And now I come to realize that in some cases, maybe it's that list and the bride price that is the reason why they are not married yet. Because they need to make enough money to be able to pay that, and then, to give the life that, a good life to their wife. Because the average Igbo man who is not a Mongo Park is known to take care of his wife very, very well. They are known for that. I will give that to the good ones, not Mongo Parks. Now, I'm coming to you, Samolu. Thanks for your patience. I see you nodding your head. I want to ask you this question. Somebody, OD Avinu, says, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but I don't think bride price is the root cause of DV. Do you agree with that?
Well, to some extent, I don't agree with him, but we can't really say we've not really have comprehensive study that has really shown that it's because of the bride price that caused domestic violence. But we have seen a trend of a pattern of behavior of things that have happened, especially we have the records in abroad, people living in US and all those stuff. We've seen a pattern of behavior from a particular set of people who are paid bride price, and they believe that their wife is like their property, and they've unleashed the maximum form of DV on this one that even lead to their death over time. In your last show, there was a woman that called in, and she said that she was doing a particular research, and it had about 26 cases of people of domestic violence that led to death, of which were mostly from the southeastern part of Nigeria.
Yes,
And
this is Tati. I remember her. Yeah.
yes, and the reason, my own opinion, I am against. I am for scrapping of bride price in the sense that it's not about the money. It is about it is symbolic, saying that you pay a particular amount of money. You bought someone, because most men that want to exert their power over women, what they say, they don't say the amount they pay to marry the woman. They just say, I pay your bride price, irrespective whether they pay 35 naira or they pay 1 million naira. All they will say that I paid your bride price. They believe that they're part of their commodity. You are like part, just like their furniture that they purchase, and they have the right to control your lives. Why you cannot exert the same form of control over them? And marriage should be something like it should be a mutual relationship whereby both you sit down to make decisions. But because the system we have in Africa and many part of the world, mostly in Africa, about bride price is that we see men as the most important person in the relationship. I'll give an example. My brother got married to a Zimbabwean woman who is a medical doctor. They met in South Africa. And my brother, when he wanted to marry, because she's a medical, my brother was asked to pay $8,000, not in Zimbabwe dollars, US dollars. Yes, my brother eventually paid $6,000.
Right price.
So before 30 minutes before we start this show, I had to chat him again to confirm how much did you pay again.
For bride price. That was for bride price in Zimbabwe.
Bride price. My brother paid $8,000. In fact, I
said, charging dollars. Hey, there's problem.
8,000, but he negotiated to 6,000. Eventually, he paid 6,000. I couldn't go for the wedding. I said, what I will do is to donate my flight ticket as part of the money for you to pay. He was my immediate senior brother, not from the same father, the same. That was how much he paid to get married, because the wife is a medical doctor. So, and this is it's the same thing with Platina, because they believe that she's a medical doctor. They spend a lot of money on her to get to get her to the level she is. I have another friend that got married to a lady from Akwa Ibom. When my friend was going for introduction, there's what they call in their tradition called knocking of the door. He has to pay money. Knocking of the door.
They do that too. In which culture is that? Knocking of the door.
Yes, it's done.
In Akwa Ibom.
Yes, he was giving, because we're both working in the financial service sector there in bank. He was initially giving 500K. He was able to negotiate to 150K. He has to make a deposit of 150K, bringing your family to do introduction. That was not wedding. And when he wanted to do the wedding, my friend had to take a loan in the bank. He was indebted after getting married. And I was telling you, I said, why do you have to do that? There are so many girls in Yoruba land. Why do you have to go and spend that money because you want to get married? You have to pay anything. I was so furious that no, I can't pay that much to marry somebody. And I don't even believe in what they call the bride price, because I grew up in a tradition whereby in marriage, the family of the bride are the one that spend money during marriage in my tradition. I have sisters that have gotten married.
It is asking you, Samolu. He said, Samolu, the money that your brother paid, the £6,000, was it refunded when they did the wedding? Did they give him back the money?
No, it's paid. All the kinsmen are going to share it. They've collected the money. They're not going to give you a penny back.
So this is a problem in Zimbabwe. Apparently, I think their own is even higher than in the season. Kitchenkon also is saying that the current bride price in Zimbabwe is $1,500 pounds minimum. Now, if I'm going to come to you, do you think this conversation about, unmarried women or single ladies who are waiting to marry,
Mhm.
is it possible to have that conversation with your family, your father especially? Because now we know that the bride price is not even the father alone or your parents alone. It's the relatives that are around you, that are the ones that contribute to the list and everything. Because I know left to most fathers always love their daughters. They want you married, they want you happy. All they ask for most men, look after my child, look after my daughter.
That's correct.
But these people that didn't contribute anything to your education, they didn't pay no school fees,
Mhm.
they don't even know you. They just said, oh, Bensy's daughter is getting married. Ah, okay. Opportunity to cash out.
Yes. So the truth is, it is impossible to have it equal all across the board. That is an impossible task to attain. So let's just forget about the fact that, Anisha has $35. They pay 35 naira. Nobody's going to agree across the board. I even heard now that Keke Napep is part of the bride list. Keke Napep. I heard this 2 days
Are
ago, and
you
I was like,
kidding?
I'm going to mention this on this show. They are listing Keke Napep. So you would know that it's one random uncle somewhere or one random umunna that's lost all his teeth that needs Keke Napep and decides to add it to the list of things that they want to get because somebody's coming to marry a person. So to answer your question, no, I don't think this conversation can be had with my mom can't change anything. My dad is late. And so if my mom goes against this, it is a case of you are rebelling against our culture.
Yeah,
You came here, we married you, didn't they
yeah,
pay bride price for you too?
yeah,
Why do you want to make it not happen for your daughter and stuff like that? So it's
yeah,
impossible. It
yeah,
is not going to happen. I cannot have that conversation with my mother.
yeah.
And so the truth is, with the rate of poverty in Nigeria right now, with the rate at which people are going hungry on a daily basis, one uncle is waiting somewhere, one umunna or one umada is waiting somewhere to
Mm-hmm.
just pitch in and say, hey, oh, there's one single machine that I want to use to sew cloth. I've been
Singer.
waiting. Add that one to the list and stuff like that. So it is impossible. This is a tall order. So if somebody sits here and says, let us have this conversation, I will have that conversation. I am going to try. And I agree with Katia, and I also agree with Chama when she says this is a conversation that unmarried single women have to start having. They need to start talking to their families and saying things like, this and that. And of course,
So
you heard me laugh, or literally, I was
yeah,
on mute, but I was laughing.
now
Go
that your
ahead.
dad is late,
Yes.
yeah, may God rest his soul, and
Amen.
is your mom.
Hmm.
Who do you talk to in a situation like this now? Uncles, right?
Yes. You talk to your uncles, you tell them, hey, this is the deal. You cannot, you please, you have to beg
Uncles
the
are not
bishop.
going to have the same love for you that your dad have.
Oh,
Uncle wants
absolutely.
to cash out too.
Absolutely. I mean, my mom got a call, I think it was last year. Hey, hey, that your daughter, uncle. What is happening with her? This
You
man
know
is
why they
already
ask? It's not because they care. They are waiting for your bride price.
he's calculating that money and he wants it and all of that. So
Yeah.
let's face the fact, it is unattainable, but the discussion can be initiated. We can talk about it. We can start trying to do something, and maybe some people's hearts will be touched somewhere, and they'd say something like, "Oh, I think this girl is making sense." And it's true. I mean, with everything that is going on in the, you don't even want to listen to South African one. Those ones, I think you have to buy like a set of cows for their lobola.
Really?
Yeah, a
Really?
set of cows for their lobola. The story that I was looking
Yeah.
at today before coming on the show, it was a BBC publication, but it was on Zimbabwe. It was on Zimbabwe and how high their bride prices are, or and how much they make people pay.
So
See,
this
I
is
don't.
a problem across Africa,
It is
not
a
just
problem across.
Nigeria.
Igbo
Absolutely.
people doesn't have dowry when you look at other like this
I'm
other
shocked that
people.
Zimbabwe charges so much.
They charge so
They do.
much.
They
They
even
charge so much.
charge in dollars. Samolu, your brother, 6,000. That's a lot of money.
Yes, my brother, you see my immediate brother. No, this is not I confirmed 30 minutes before we started meeting to reconfirm is this how much you paid then.
You
He
must
paid
have really loved that
sister.
woman to pay that amount. It's enough to discourage someone from getting
Yeah,
married.
And,
exactly.
Yeah.
and, and TV, there is a commenter here. His name is Odudu, and you can tell that he is so passionate about scrapping bride price that his comments, if you find him, please post his comments. It's like scrap bride price now, scrap umunya
Okay.
now, scrap
Okay.
umuada now. Our culture is beautiful. If only we can make the culture stay. I mean, we have the beautiful one where we carry wine, the part where we dance, the part where we wear colorful clothes and stuff like that. If we can keep those, it will be fantastic to keep those. But yet, if we can then handle the part where people have to pay less or nothing, it will
Yeah.
be fantastic if we can have that. We love our culture, but this foreign antigen that they are introducing into our culture is ruining things, and it's making it look like we're selling our girls, actually.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ify. I'm coming to you, Choma. Culture was made for man. Man was not made for culture. And culture was made by man, incidentally. But one thing I know about human nature, whether it's in the east or it's in the south or west or northern Nigeria, is that people resist change. They don't like it. Oh, this is how we've always done it. Why does it have to change? You know why they don't want it to change? Because it favors those people that are speaking. Nigeria is a very patriotic society all across Nigeria. Now, people are saying, someone said in comment section that I pinned a while ago that say, tell your fathers not to share. If they don't share in the other uncle's own, maybe then when their own daughters are getting married, then they can have a say. But when you don't chop other people's own, when it's your turn, you cannot talk. They must chop your own too. Do you think that this bride price is actually impacting on people actually getting married or going across, marrying people? Like you gave an example of somebody that went to marry, for love, but for bride price. And do you think it contributes to, we're talking about DV, that's the center of this, property, owing. I think you kind of answered that question already, but yeah, should it be cancelled? You said it shouldn't, you believe it should be cancelled. Do you? Or you are
Yes,
still.
yes. No, 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 no. The truth is, like I said, for me, it wasn't an issue. But one thing about when you're dealing with life issues, don't just isolate your own situation. Think about the greater good. That's one thing I learned. When you're dealing with public policy, yes, it might not affect you, but the greater population, is it affecting them? Is this something that is affecting people negatively? I would say just go ahead and scrap it. What am I benefiting from bride price being paid for my daughter anyway? Do you understand? Really, is it doing more harm than good? And when you think about, when you wait and you see that it's doing more harm than good, then you go ahead and say, you know what, let's remove this thing. It's like the caste system now, this whole
Yeah.
issue of the thing, which is, I'm deviating. You think about it, some people might say,
No,
hey,
no,
it's
no.
our culture.
It's related. It's related. You can talk
It's
about
there for
that.
the sake. For
Mhm.
but when you see, is it doing more harm than? Of course it is. So just scrap the damn thing. So with bride price, you might think, oh, it's not hurting anybody. But if statistics show, if you have evidence to show that look, it is actually affecting some people, and they feel that, oh, because I'm paying bride price, they're not using the thing to make money, which is ridiculous. Taking a beautiful thing and making it really ridiculous. Then you say,
Yeah.
you know what?
They
Go ahead.
bastardize this basically. Hmm.
Yeah, go ahead and start it. It's going to be, if it's repugnant, if it's not really benefiting anybody, you just go ahead and say, you know what, maybe we should just go across the board. It's like the burial thing as well. The way
Yeah.
some burials, people will be borrowing money to bury their father. Doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So now
Pretty devoted.
um, they're trying to now even legislate on that to make burials a bit more toned down so that people don't feel under pressure. So
Yeah.
yes, the state, can actually step
And
in and say
Nigeria
some
is a
things
very
need to be abolished.
competitive society. I've actually seen a bride
Yeah.
who brought out everything they used to pay her bride price, including the list, all the items in the list. Took a picture and posted it on Facebook and said, "Can you see my bride price? I'm not
She was
cheap."
boasting.
She was boasting, yes, on social media. She was boasting to say,
Wow.
"This is my bride price." So even women sometimes encourage it. But Pretty Devoted here is saying, my dad said mine would be ₦1 million because I'm educated and I'm an ada. What if the guy that's Pretty Devoted is dating or she loves, she wants to marry, she feels that they are compatible? This is someone she can live with. If he doesn't have ₦1 million, what's she supposed to do?
It's ridiculous. You're monetizing affection and love. Like this scenario I told you, the guy, it caused a lot of bad feeling when he was asked to even pay more money. When he was saying, oh, that in fact, that 1 million that we charge is too small, you're meant to pay 2.5. He was very bitter about it, because he had to start borrowing money to do it. So these things are going to affect people's relationships and affect people from finding love the way they should. It's really unfortunate.
Right. Okay. I'm coming to you, Katia. Let me come to you. And I'm going to ask you these questions about bride. We're still talking about bride price. and we are talking about the impact it's having on us, because culture is about, changing, amending. I mean, even legislation that Igbo people use. You Americans are very big on your constitution and all that. But the people still look at it and say, okay, this law, it was good in 1950. Can we do an amendment to it today? This is 2021. It may have worked in 1950, but it's not working now. Can we? Why is this? Our people are so difficult, and they don't like anything that will change. Anything change, they don't like it at all. It's very difficult for them to change, especially the people who are the receiving end of this thing. And you brought the issue of tone to decay. A lot of women are paying their bride price now. Would you have respect if you pay your bride price as a woman?
You know, is that a question for me?
Yes, it's a question for you, because you
Oh,
are the one that said that we should retain it and make it uniform.
yeah. When I say we should make it uniform, is to turn it down. We have
Yeah.
to come to, and it's not something that is going to work in the entire Igbo land. It's something that is going to work village by village.
And it's not
Yes.
even in Igbo land now, Katia. Remember, we have an example of Ify telling us about the brother that went to Benue State.
Yes.
So other parts of Nigeria now are charging an arm and a foot as well.
Let me tell you, very often when we watch videos and do videos, we say, who did this to us, to Africans? Everything they see is opportunity to make money. Everything, marrying somebody's daughter, the clan has seen that as opportunity, especially when they watch the guy drive nice car, come to your house, come and pick and drop and date. Oh, they are recording everything. He has a jeep. He has this. He's a lawyer. He's a doctor. So everything will clump up, and this is how they come out with the bills, with the list, with the dowry, with the bride price. So my own thing, and I still stand where I'm standing, is like Choma said, that funeral is going out of hand. In my own town, Onitsha, we don't do funeral more than one day. And it is the people of Onitsha that came together and cried to the Obi. The Obi is the chief that cried and said, you know what? People abroad are making us feel like we are nobody.
Wow.
When their own person dies, they do funeral for 3 days. They kill cows, they kill goats, they do asheri. So when each individuals or villages or clan will cry to the appropriate people to say, this is what our daughters are facing. This is why our daughters are not getting married. And in most cases, like the question you asked me, sometimes women are the breadwinners.
Yeah.
She really wants to get married.
She
What
wants
can
to.
she do? She loves that man. And the man, the husband to be, doesn't have that finance to go and pay that dowry. She will go, nah, you know what? This is it. If this is going to make my father's people happy, let's go and do it. Take it and let us move on.
Actually, I know a few women that paid their own bride price. They gave it to the guy to go and pay.
So let me tell you, you see the problem, the thing we're talking about, domestic violence, whether you pay $1, 1 naira, 100 million, a beast is a beast. A beast will remain a beast. Because you pay 1 million to marry a wife does not quantify that this is why you have to treat her like a sale purse. And because you pay 30 naira to marry me does not mean
she doesn't have value.
That I am not a full wife, I'm not married. So everything is, that bride price is not the reason. It's personal upbringing. It is personal, how people see their father treat their mother, what they themselves understand as being married. Is bride price outrageous in some areas? Yes, it is. Who is going to change it? Ohaneze Ndibo is not going to change it. The governor of Anambra State is not going to change it. It is we, women, that will come together and go to the Igwe's palace, the chief palace, and say, you know what, Daddy, we are crying. somebody wants to marry me. Can we do something about this bride price?
And I feel like a lot of women can do that, because if you walk, I think the way you are speaking about Onitsha now, it looks like Onitsha is a model. Is a model for Igbo land now.
We with the Indiocha now. They are called also
Onitsha. I'm loving Onitsha the way you are talking about Onitsha. If Onitsha people can go to Igwe and say, all these India obodoyibo are coming home and they are oppressing us with all their dollars and pounds. We can afford this barrier. Make barrier one day, and it worked.
It's one day.
Other things can work.
My mother died 12 years ago. It was one day. I'm telling you, as back as 12 years ago.
So no more party, slaughtering of cow. Some people will eat in that house for the next 1 week. They won't go home.
It's not 1 week. We don't. If you don't know, anybody here watching, if they don't know, go and ask about Onitsha. Because they always say that Onitsha people are not Igbo people, because we are just by the head bridge.
Oh, really? I never heard that.
By the head bridge now. We used to call ourselves that we are not Igbo. Hey, Igbo, look at these people, you know.
Can you imagine? The same people. That's why when the Mongo Parks Igbo people come here to fight me, I tell them that, I say, go and sit down. You are doing keyboard warrior now as if you like the next Igbo person that is staying next to you. You don't like that. You don't like them, so you shut the hell up.
So this is why it looks like we tap into a little bit of Edo culture, a little bit in the thing.
I mean, any progressive culture is good, to be honest, Katia, and I'm loving what Onitsha people did with that burial thing. It's
we did. Even their shebi, they scrapped it, but the thing is that some people will say, okay, for their shebi,
was a shebi ever Igbo culture in the first place? Isn't that borrowed from Yoruba land?
People are doing it now.
Chama, was Igbo people doing a shebi before?
Everybody is doing it. It's
Sorry. Let me say something what Katia is saying. You know, I agree. In the Onitsha, I bet they are progressives. If you look at the the east of Nigeria, they were the first to get educated for the most part. They are very enlightened. You see, their grandparents went to London to school, so they are very enlightened people. So, you know, I don't agree that we have to wait for towns to shout out. The state government, it's happening in Anambra State. The state government actually brought a rule to say, look, burials must be toned down. They have enacted laws to that effect. Not every town is going to say, we don't want this. Some towns are very rustic and very local and very archaic. They will be enjoying the bride price and all the nonsense that's going on. But some innocent people will not be enjoying it. You know, you can't wait for that to happen. This is something that should actually go to our policymakers to say, you know what, this is getting out of hand. People are borrowing money to do these things. People are
Obi Kubana is from Anambra, and he had a very elaborate burial. I think I'm digressing a little bit, but is the law selective, not applicable?
It's not from
You're making mistakes.
Anambra, they break laws. We know that.
Onitsha is a town.
Onitsha is a town.
From Oba. I think Obi Kubana is from Oba.
He's from Oba. Yeah, he's from Oba.
It's a different town.
Yes. And to be, I want to.
People are very resistant to change. So it will take time for it to be caught up. Change is not accepted easily. Once upon a time, when they said stop killing twins, and now I'm going far, people were like, why? They're evil. Let's continue killing. Somewhere in Abuja, they're still killing twins to today.
Really?
But it takes time. Yes.
In this Nigeria. In this our Nigeria.
In Abuja, there's an orphanage I've been to. The man helps rescue twins. There's a tribe that is still killing twins till today.
Wow.
2022. Or I can give you the guy's number.
Wow.
So change is how we allow it to continue. No. People have to speak up and say this thing is wrong. People will still break laws. That's what happens even in the developed world. People break laws, but we have to speak out and say this is wrong.
We need to have the laws in place before you can even hold people accountable for breaking them.
And Antibi, I want to quickly add something to what Katia and Choma have been saying. You know, she mentioned something about, the bride price not being the root cause of DV, right? I remember I was watching a video of Osinachi's mother, and there was a point where Peter Osinachi told Osinachi's mother, Onye Kibo, akugom ego, like I have paid you. I paid you the bride price. Who are you?
You see?
So we're not saying
it doesn't have anything to do with them being evil. They are beasts.
They are beasts.
No, Katia, it's about bride price. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
When you said that, we're talking about if bride price is a problem and it's making some men, treat their wives badly. You see
Yes.
what you said now? I
Yes.
know it's not an isolated case. The case of, Osinachi's husband. It's not isolated. Choma gave us 2 examples of men that say, you are my property now, I've paid for you.
Yes.
So I think whether we have the research or the statistics or not, there's a direct link between bride price and DV.
And Vivi, I wanted to quickly add though that there are so many factors that contributes to a man, beating up, doing DV and all of that. We agree.
I agree.
There's a constant thing that's not just a variable; it's a constant. If you set it up as an equation, it's a constant. The man has to first be a beast, first of all, and he has to have a motive, right? He's a certain way, and he's trying to give a reason why he is a certain way. I watched that video and I was shedding tears at this old woman saying her son-in-law was saying, who the heck are you? I paid. According to what I heard, they said he paid that bride price so fast because for him, that's all he needed to get her before starting to maltreat her. It doesn't change the fact that they are still who they are, but they always hold on to one reason. And so for some of these beasts, they use things like I paid. So I just wanted to say that sometimes when they don't pay as high as they make them pay, your family can walk in and come there and get you and say, how much did we take your money? But for some people, they can't take 5 million naira back. They can't throw it at somebody and say, take your 5 million back, take your 3 million back. Now, so I feel like people will have a voice. The family of the wife would have a voice when it's 35 naira. When it's naira.
Based on what Ife is saying, in my research, one of the reasons for domestic violence that leads to death of some of the victims of domestic violence is what she has mentioned, that when you are paid the bride price, let's say you are married somebody from a very poor background and they charge you a lot of money, maybe because the lady is well educated or so, and they paid a lot of money to marry. And when she's in the marriage, she will and she's being abused regularly, and she wants to leave the marriage. Because the parent could not afford to repay back the bride price, they tend to force her to still stay in the marriage.
Yes.
Or let's say even the man is very rich and they take they get some benefit from the man, they tend to force the woman to still stay in the marriage because of the benefit they are getting from the husband, most especially the bride price they have charged exorbitant price from. So we can see that there's correlation between bride price and DV. But in some culture, in Yoruba land, a woman is not obliged to stay in the marriage because they want to return a bride price. You are free to go because there is nothing to be returned. If the marriage it was not based on the fact that something was paid to get you. So you see some of these beasts, some of these men that have unleashed terror on these women. A lot of times when they say their common factor to most of them is when they say that I have paid the money on you. I paid for you. You are my property. You are this and that. And this is a common factor in most of these DV. Although I am not saying it's general, but we've seen that the pattern of behavior that people that they pay bride price have done the worst in terms of DV in relationship.
Auntie B, and please, you guys should forgive me, like I was discussing with you guys before we came on. I'm a nerd. I set things up like an equation in my head. The constant thing there is that this person is a beast, and there's so many other variables. Imagine if there's several variables that makes up a formula, and you take out one of it changes everything.
It changes the equation.
So because this bride price is one of the factors that these beasts use, which they shouldn't be, but they use it.
Why don't we take it out?
If we take it out, or we address it, things are gonna be better. It's just gonna change things like this with the tap of a finger. That's just
even though in Onitsha is 35 naira, people still beat up their wives. I still tell them, I'm your own. And somebody family will still tell you to stay. Are you telling me that they don't have 35 naira to return back?
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Somebody in the comment section is saying that there is DV in the abroad, right?
Yeah.
There's DV in the abroad, and we're not talking about our people. We're not talking about Nigerians. We're not talking about black people. Even Oyibo has DV, but they don't pay bride price. But But what if he's saying makes sense to me, because she said there are many variables in it. If DV is one of them, and we're not going to be
Take it out.
saving someone if we take that out. And now the issue of returning, Chama, let me come to you. I know you wanted to say something when if you was saying speaking earlier.
Yeah.
The issue of
Yeah.
returning can be problematic as well when people don't have the money to return. Is it that if the money is not returned that the woman cannot leave? Because I know somewhere
She
in
can
Benue
leave.
State,
He can
somewhere
leave.
in Benue State, where I have a friend from Benue State, he said to me that his sister, the sister was in a DV relationship with the husband, and he said in their culture, they are thief people, that the woman cannot leave the husband's house, that the father has to come and remove her. And since their father is late, he, as the senior brother now, is the one that will come and remove. There are so many cultures across Nigeria that just so obsolete and barbaric. So he had to travel all the way from Abuja to Benue State, Makurdi, to go and remove the sister who was being trashed every day from this man's house. Because even though she's physically able, she's an adult with 4 children, because of culture, she cannot leave. Chama?
This whole thing about returning, I think is, I'm just thinking is about time someone sets up an NGO to help people return bride price if that's the problem. But people can leave. Katia will agree with me. If you will agree, people can leave. I know someone that had, I know someone that left a marriage. It was an abusive marriage. She left, and the complication was that because her father refused to return the bride price,
Yeah.
she went on, had children, and those children still carried the man's name.
They are
I'm talking
saying
about having
that,
children in another relationship. Because as far as the man was concerned, you're married though. I will not return your bride price. Go back to your husband.
so the
Go back
children
to
still
your
carrying
husband.
her ex-husband's name.
And some people, it's sad. People have to change their mindset when they are so. Yes, yes.
Wow. Wow. So that's what Chinyere is saying
So
here now.
in other words,
Right, they
she
can leave,
cannot
but they are
remarry
not allowed to
until
remarry
the bride
until the
price is
bride price is
returned.
paid
And some
back.
people are so reluctant to do that. They say no, 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 no. Yeah.
Chama, can you
Exactly,
get? Yeah.
exactly. And any
Okay.
child that you have will belong to the ex-husband by culture. But like I said, these things are repugnant.
Yes.
It's who wants to accept them will accept them. If you don't want to accept them, you don't have to. Nobody's going to, hold a gun to your head. It's like saying, the whole thing of, inheritance in Igbo land. The whole thing of inheritance. I'm from Anambra State. My father died. My parents are late, Bridget. And they say,
Yeah.
oh, according to Igbo culture, only men inherit. Says who? My father had 4 daughters. We all inherit, all of us. My father was not that kind of person. Everybody inherited from his property. So it's as if you want to obey some law that you obey. Nobody will hold a gun to your head and say you must do this way.
Yes.
So people can leave. People have left marriages. Many people who have said, I don't care. In fact, if nobody comes to pick me up, I'm leaving. I don't care
Right.
what people think. So, something also, if you said, I agree with you, it's not really that, it causes DV, but it's one of the factors. And in that way, I also agree with Katia. Yes, you can't say, because some men that have paid millions and they treat their wives like jewels. They're so loving and they're so kind.
Yeah.
So
It's
we're
the
not saying, once you
individual.
remove this whole bride price, there'll be no more DV. Of course not.
Right.
But it's obviously one of the factors for some people who are already who are already wicked. They just use that as an extra excuse to be silly
Excuse.
and
Yeah.
to be mean.
Especially when they know the
But yeah,
family
some
cannot
people,
pay back.
I think we need to work on people's mindset. That there are some women who are so strong-willed, they don't care. Even if the family doesn't come to pick them, even if they refuse, they say, I'm leaving that marriage, I'm leaving that marriage. I don't care what you guys do. And they
Right.
leave. But for some of them, it's really difficult. That financial thing, which is why I think it'll be good for an NGO to actually support some of these women who are really impoverished, who have nowhere to go, and who need help. I know that there are a few shelters here and there, because for some people that financial issue is really a big one. Or that whole thing of, you must go and somebody I know, she wanted to get married, and because the ex-husband, her dad refused to return the bride price, the ex-husband said that he won't accept the bride price,
Yeah, that's
even
what I
if
was
they
going to
bring it
ask.
back
What
for
if
him.
the ex refuse to accept?
No,
What
what
if you
they
want to
do,
return and they refuse to accept? That's another problem
He
again.
refused. He was married to her. And he refused. It was a big issue. She had to call me to get involved. that the man's family was saying that they don't want the bride price. And then her own family, her father is dead. They said that they won't go, that the man should come himself, and then they'll give him the bride price back. And he refused to come. He said he's not coming, he's towards the marriage.
In all this,
There
who
was a
suffers is the woman.
Going back and forth. In the end, thank God, the man that wanted to marry her was very insistent. They sorted it out. She has married now. She's remarried. She has a child, and she's doing well to the glory of God. But it was a lot of back and forth. It was really ridiculous.
Let me ask you, Samolu. Thank you so much, Shoma, and all my panelists. You guys are amazing. Sam, let me ask you this as a man, the only man here with us tonight. And I'm sharing my link. If you have got something to say, we've got only a few minutes left. Please join us. And, we can only take a few calls. The link is in the comment section. Guys, if you are enjoying this conversation, please give this video a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up, guys, if you've forgotten. And we have only 29 likes or thereabouts and almost 1,000 people watching. Please like this video, my people. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. So, Sam, I'm asking you this question. Okay. If you are a man, if you are, let's say you are dating, I'm creating a scenario here now because that's what I do. And you see a woman you want to marry. You love her, you love each other, you think you're compatible, you want to get married, but she was in, an entanglement like that, whereby bride price is an issue. Okay? If there's some issue of returning the bride price or the ex not wanting to accept the bride price, would you agree for a woman to have a relationship with a woman and she will keep bearing the ex-husband's, your children will bear the ex-husband's name? Is that something you would do as a man?
No, it's not something I want to do as a man. As a man, if I want to get into a relationship with a woman, I want her to be on a clean slate. We don't have to. She doesn't have to be in a tangled relationship. As a man, I will do my possible to assist her. If it's somebody I really like, I really love so much that I want to get married, work things out. We might be in the relationship but not having kids. But in the process of we are ready to have a kid, I'll make sure that everything is clean. And I would not want to be.
You open your eyes when Samolu said not having kids. Samolu said he doesn't want kids that will be another man's name. I saw your eyes open there for a minute.
Of course, no man wants to have a kid that will be bearing another man's name. And coming to what Chioma was talking about in terms of not returning bride price, there is one thing I have read on like that paying bride price encourage polygamy, in the sense that you see some men that say that they will not return, even if their wives want to return, the family of their wife want to return their bride price, they will say they are not taking it. But because by African tradition, a man can marry as many wives as possible. So they want to try to punish the woman, make sure that she's still in the marriage while they are marrying other women. Because they are not accepting your family want to return your bride price. They are not taking it, but they have the liberty to marry as much women as possible. Because in African culture, you can marry as many wives as possible, most especially if you don't go to the registry. So these are some of the disadvantage of paying bride price. A woman can be locked in the relationship that she wants to get out of, while the man has the liberty to do as many
anything he likes. He can even take another wife.
Take as much as he wants, because he's paying the bride price. He's paying for them.
As long as he can afford to pay, he can marry as many as he likes.
We're also limiting our scope to the south part of Nigeria. Even in the north, what bride price is, it encourages child marriage, because you see families that are very poor and they have a very young girls, and they give it out to a very rich man, the ISB that wants to, and it makes it possible for women to marry men that they don't really love, they don't fall in love with. We've seen even in the Igbo side, you've seen women that they are getting into a marriage because the man has a lot of money to pay their bride price. Not necessarily because they love the man they're getting married to. They might have their own childhood love that they want to marry, but cannot afford to pay their bride price. But because the other person can pay, social ship can pay the money, so it tends to get into this marriage and marry somebody they don't love.
All right, thank you, Samuel.
And another one I want to talk about is a delay in marriage. You know, there are some culture in the Igbo side that when the other, which is the first daughter, is not married, the other younger ones will not be allowed to marry.
Is
And
that
because
true?
yes, there are some.
If is that true? I didn't know that.
Okay,
Mute yourself if you are.
no,
Yeah,
no,
that is not particularly true. I have a younger sister who's
That's not
married.
true.
Marry, I don't think anybody can stop anybody from marrying.
But I do have a friend. I
but
have a friend who is an Igbo girl whose younger sister has been waiting for her for 7 years. But that's like a family thing. You know, that's a dynamic
No,
between
I
them.
don't think they can stop you,
No,
but
the
I think
family dynamic.
it's
It's a
preferable.
family
Yeah.
dynamic. It's not a
It
culture.
doesn't
My
have
younger
anything
sister
to
is
do with
married.
culture.
Yes.
And
They could.
I have like 2 minutes to go. I want to add something to this. For people who think that you cannot return bride price, you need to do your research very well. Some courts, some customary courts take bride price back. In my town, Onitsha, if the man doesn't want to take the bride price, you take the money to the Igwe. You call the Igwe, the chief of the town, and say, you know what? My husband doesn't want to take this. This is the bride price. I am done. Once the money gets to Igwe, the marriage is nullified.
I think they do that in Edo as well.
Yes.
In Edo, I know in Isha, I know somebody that did that in Isha. And the husband, you know, I think they're having problems. She returned the bride price to the chief of the town. And that was the end of the marriage.
That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be there. Just go to Igwe. Say, this man is gonna kill me. I'm done. This is the bride price. Your father doesn't have to go with you.
Yeah,
Just-
no, this one, her father, in fact, her parents didn't know. She
just go to Igwe
she
and
did it on her own.
She did it on her own. She rented father and mother.
yes.
There's a dying scar. When you hear some people say dying scar.
She said, my mother wants me to die in marriage. These people want me. I am not marrying anymore. This is the dowry. Take it to the man. I'm done.
Yeah.
And from that day on, you are free. You can answer your new husband's last name.
Right.
I agree with you. Yeah, people, you need to just do what you need to do.
Thank you so much, Katia. Thanks for your contribution. I appreciate you. Onitsha is a flagship town.
No, child. If you are a guy, you want to marry Onitsha woman.
Onitsha, only 35 naira.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, darling. Lovely to see you. Thank you, sweetie.
You.
Have a nice evening over there.
Okay, love.
Bye, darling. Okay, Sama, you were saying something. Katia has to go now, but we've got other people who want to contribute.
Yeah, it's not even just on the thing, to be honest, because with this lady, I remember when we were having this issue, she was calling me and saying the guy is refusing. Somebody else told me the same thing. That, look, she can go to her town and
Big Mom,
head or the village head, and it's all over, or the oldest person in the family. So there are ways you can get things done if you need to get them done. That's the honest truth.
Right. Okay. Is there you want to share any last wisdom with us, Ife, Chama, and Samolu, so that we can take calls now? I know you guys have been very, very gracious with your time and everything. Is Easter. I know, everybody's busy. So go ahead.
Yeah. So my thought on this is we don't want any more Tonto DK cases. We don't want our Igbo sisters, whether it's our Benue sisters, whatever part they are from Nigeria, to start crying and, just saying, oh, I paid the bride price and all of that. Let us be considerate. Let us see if we can work towards it. I encourage young girls, young women to have that conversation with their family. It is time that we start looking at, the amounts that it is ridiculous. And the people who are involved are human beings. We have blood flowing in our veins. Let us think about it. Let us address it. Let us be progressive. If we have people going into the moon, we have people solving problems. I am here just coding coronaviruses and trying to see if we can fight against, future viruses. That's my job. That's what I do. I'm a coder. I'm a doctor. I do all of this. But if we're finding solutions to things on a daily basis, let us begin to address the things that have become a problem in our society. We don't want our Igbo girls paying bride price for men anymore. Let's take it down to 35 naira if we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my darling. I hope you're going to have that conversation with your Igwe or the people that really the people that can bring this conversation up at your town's meeting, so that people who are on ground can take this conversation to the lawmakers. Absolutely. Because believe you me, when they take it up on the ground level, in the community level, And this Nwada that we're talking about, or women in communities across Nigeria, across villages, they take it up. Then they, just like Kacha said, in their hometown,
Yes.
then it is, they put their foot down. But the reason why people are not putting their foot down or even speaking about it is because they benefit from it.
Absolutely.
It's difficult to
Absolutely.
make people change their mind about something that they gain
They
from.
gain from. Yes. That has just been the case. It's going to be a lot of work. I mean, we still have many more years before Jesus comes. We don't know when he's coming, but if we have every day, we should work at it every day. Girls should have this conversation. I just also want to say that I don't think I'm not married because of the bride price thingy, but also thinking about the other girls. I mean, I used to have a friend. I want to quickly share this short story. I attended secondary school, high school with a girl in Nigeria. I grew up in Lagos. I'm a Yoruba girl, 100%. And people would
You're
see
an
me.
Igbo Yoruba girl.
I'm an Igbo Yoruba girl. And I remember, there's this my friend that we recently just started talking. She lives in Nigeria, and I could sense the depression in her voice. I could sense it. I had to just stop communicating with her because I also care about my mental health. I don't want anybody to make it look like it is a disease not to be married. And I feel sorry for her because she's in Nigeria and she it's in her face. And she has mentioned a couple of times that it's because the bride price is too high. I hope people can address it for those people, especially for our women who are down in Nigeria, who have to have some kind of anchor on marriage because the society makes them feel that way, that they have to be married as a sort of validation for their existence. I feel sorry for them, and especially for those who have to then be caged in that situation where they are just because the guys are saying, "Oh, the bride price is too high. I don't think I can pay it." So they should please address that for the sake of people like my friends back in Nigeria who are not married and who don't have a lot going on for them, like I do. They should please address it. It is a pandemic. They
It's a
need to look
pandemic.
into it.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
agree with you. Thank you so much, Ify.
Thank you.
I
Bye,
mean,
everyone.
thank you so much, Ify. Dr. Ify in the building. Thank you so much, my darling. I can't love you less. You are amazing. Thank you. You don't know the pressure, Chama. She doesn't
Also,
know
if
the pressure of unmarried women in Nigeria.
agree with her. For some people, that whole Mrs. thing is like, oh my goodness, if I'm not married, the world has crashed down. But the truth is that we need to raise our children differently so that they don't see married as the end all and be all. I have three beautiful sisters. They are not married. Do they want to get married? Yes. But do they live under pressure of not being married? No, they do not. They are successful. They are doing well. And two of them live in Nigeria. One lives in the US. They are living very happy, fulfilled lives. So you need to decide that, look, I am not going to allow these things affect me and shape who I am as an individual. And also all these cultures and things, who makes them? They're made by individuals. They can be broken. Like I said, I give my example. We all inherited from my late father and my late mother because they both own property. You cannot be bringing some kind of archaic culture to me and say, oh, in Anambra State, only men. What does that mean?
Yeah.
You can't. This is how I want to do this. You can say, oh, they say, oh, someone will say, oh, in my place it's forbidden to marry outside my village. Says who? You can say, okay, I'm going to break that rule. What's going to happen to me? As long as you're doing things right by God and by your own self and your peace of mind, please go ahead. If you do not think that this bride price thing, as in for me, I would say just scrap it. Go ahead, 35 naira, 30 naira, whatever it is. There's no need. Let's enjoy the beautiful parts of our culture. Let's just do things that make sense and make everybody happy. Just have a law and just say, let's just scrap this thing and let's move on because these things can be changed. Who makes all this? Like you said, Ashebi, even from the name, Ashebi.
Is there an Igbo name for Ashoebi, Choma?
There's no Igbo name. It's Ashebi.
Because I realize all across Nigeria, even in my area, they call it Ashoebi. I'm wondering, why does everybody call it Ashoebi? If you don't have a name for it, that means it's not your culture.
Sure. But it's almost unheard of for you to do something and not have your Ashebi girl. They call them Ashebi girl. They will wear whatever.
Yeah, it's something else.
Recently, my friend, buried her father-in-law. They buried their father-in-law. He was a big man in their place, and everyone expected a lavish, huge burial in Newi man. And they said, no, I'm not doing. They said no. People were threatening. It's not being done.
They didn't give him a befitting burial. Befitting burial.
Bridget, trust me, this family is loaded. They gave him a nice burial, but it was small, only immediate family, full stop.
I love that.
And they did it. It was on Zoom. They asked us to all join by Zoom, and we watched. It was such a beautiful, befitting farewell to a great man. But they did not. But they said, please, there's still COVID. There's no need. People were like, hey, COVID has started. Oh, there's no COVID in the East. They said, we don't care.
We don't
If you
want.
want,
Sit in your house.
yes, because if you care about this man so much, please see the Zoom link. You can join us virtually. And
I'm
they
sure
did
a
it.
lot of people will not be happy about that, Choma.
But those that are not happy, they've gotten over it. Guess
Abi,
what? 1 year,
they, they will
they've
get
gotten
over
over it. They'll
it.
get over it. So there to be different, there to be different. People will say, hey, can you imagine? They did not pay bride price for her. Whatever. I don't want my bride price to be paid for my daughters. That you can decide to be different in your own family and do things different. But like someone said, because some men have enjoyed from other people's own, they don't have the mouth to say it. You can tell your
You can't
father,
speak.
please.
Oh. Mhm.
We should not let's not hide things under this whole thing of culture. Our culture is beautiful, our tradition is beautiful, but the aspects that are holding people down,
It needs
let's
tweaking. Yeah. Like you
examine them and
said,
take
yeah,
away
the
with
word
them.
you used was repugnant. There are some aspects of it that is repugnant. We need to touch them. Mhm.
If it's reported, change it. It might not affect you, Bridget. It might not affect me,
Yeah,
but it's affecting so many people. Why don't we look at it
absolutely.
and say, let's do away with this thing? If it's not, and let us raise our children to be able to be confident to know bride price or no bride price. If their lives are at risk, they need to get out of there. And raise our men to know that look, women are not your property, they're not there for your pleasure. Whether you pay bride price or not, you're to love and to honor her as a partner and as a friend. So a lot of work needs to be done beyond all these other things of removing bride price or whatever. There's a lot of work to be done on the way we are raising individuals and teaching them of the value system across board in the nation. Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you so much, Shelma. I really, really appreciate you. My love to your lovely husband and your beautiful kids. Love and appreciate you, Choma. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye. Samolu, you are next so that we can
Okay.
go to Brad Patrick. Brad Patrick have been waiting for some time.
Okay. On my final note is that number one, I have a daughter. I wouldn't want anybody to come and negotiate on me. How much am I paying to get married to your
You
daughter?
are very clear on that.
Yes, I want my daughter to get married based on the fact that they love each other, they want to start a family, and they want to be happy. And culture is something that was created by man and it evolves over time. We've seen some bad aspect of our culture that we're not practicing, no longer practicing today, that we have evolved. And it is something that we need to constantly change. And how do we change this culture? We have to start internally, individually. Most of us that are watching the program today, some of us are already will soon become a grandma, or our kids will begin getting to a certain age
Getting
that they'll be
married.
getting married.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
we try to imbibe that culture over time, in the next 2, 3 generations, what we are discussing today will have been a story in the past. It will just be part of our history. Because even dowry bride price was I read European history, they do pay dowries in among the white people, and over time
Back
they
in the
change.
day. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I find it funny when you see people, is our culture which you hold on to it. This were used to be some people's culture in the past, and they are no longer doing it today. So as everybody individual, how do we do contribute by trying to make sure that we change the change start with me, with you, and try to expand to the larger society. That would be my own contribution and final say.
So you say abolish bride price in all
On
totality.
the final note, abolish bride price. I am not in support. I believe that the fact that you are even paying 10 naira or 20 naira is symbolism. It's symbolic in the sense that the people that when people talk about bride price, they say I paid for other price. So
I
they say
paid.
that word alone shows that it's like your property. I have taken you over. Those people, most of the people that even abuse their wife, they don't even pay much bride price. But the fact that
Mhm.
they have that particular culture of saying that I
Yeah,
have
it
paid,
gives
oh,
them
I have paid.
power. Yeah, it gives
You
them
won't see
power.
somebody that pay over 10 million as bride price to be
Mm.
who won't even abuse their wife, because for that person must have had much for to pay that much. So most of those the people that they only pay little and they still abuse, for the fact
Thank
that
you.
bride
Mm.
price is one of the things they mention when they abuse these women. So that would be
Thank
my final
you.
thought on this.
Thank you so much, Samolu. Oko Amoti. Thank you so much. Daddy
Thank
Bella, we
you. Yes,
appreciate you. Oshe Goni, my
okay,
darling.
man.
Thank you.
Yes,
Odabo.
bye.
Thank you. Brad Patrick, you are next in line. Thanks for waiting. You've heard the conversation from all my panelists. what they've all said about bride price, sir.
Yeah, that's a wonderful topic. I appreciate all the panelists, Ifi, Kati, Shioma, and my brother Samolu. Samolu, thank you for showing your face. At least I now know
People are
somebody.
finally seeing his face today. We will know him already.
Yes, I will show my face one day.
One day, Brother Patrick, you show your face too.
Yes, you know, my sister, you're doing a very good job.
Thank you, sir.
I'm really appreciating my wife now and the family. I really tell you, I'm beginning to love my wife more with this topic and the family as well. Let me give you a short background. You know, my wife, when she was in Polytechnic, she had a chauffeur-driven driver that was there to be taken out from our hostel to our class. And at the time, they said, no, they don't want a driver because one of our cousins could drive. So she was the last baby of the house, and they gave her a car. And you know, when we were getting married, she was a manager at a company, and I was just an ordinary teacher. And I was not stressed at all. The family had houses everywhere in Lagos. Like if he said, Abioma Eko, I'm an Edo man, but married to a Yoruba lady.
I see.
So I'm Bioma Eko Gogon, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say that high bride price has defeated the essence of marriage. That's my first point.
Mm-hmm.
High bride price has defeated the essence of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, high bride price will not foster love and mutual relationship. It has brought in transaction into it for the sake of others. Because after you are wedded, it's going to be the practical marriage. You are going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the panelists have said, it's one of the byproduct of DV.
Yeah.
I will agree with them. And my sister, let me tell you, during traditional wedding, I really enjoyed in case of mine. There's a fun there because I wasn't stressed up.
Because you didn't have to cough out too much for the list.
We
And
did what we had to
price.
do. And the family, they supported us. We really had fun. My wife was very happy. Everybody was happy. We didn't even we are not thinking of, okay, after today, we are going to be struggling to. There was no idea.
No
we don't have the idea.
You didn't have any gbese to pay back.
Yes. No gbese to pay back.
Imagine somebody borrowing money because of you want to go and buy things on the list to marry. It's ridiculous.
Everything was light on us. We are not stressed up because you are putting a burden on the children. And you remember when your daughter is going somewhere, it's going to bring in children that will bear that people's name. You are going to feel your family and the bridegroom family. You are going to be one family. So why bringing in too much money? I'm not going to say $20 like Yoruba. I pay, was it not $20 or whatever, and they return it immediately.
Yeah.
For the dowry, they return it immediately, Sister Auntie B. They return it immediately. They say, we are not selling our daughter. Have your money back. It was the elders that did that.
Yeah.
They return it. So even jokingly, I said my wife, I tell her, you know, I've paid your bride price. I said, what do you mean? They return it. I was
You
there.
didn't pay anything. You didn't pay anything.
She would say, you didn't pay anything. They return it. I still remember jokingly. So it has defeated the essence of marriage. You know? Because, you know, people are going to look at it in terms of money. God will help us. That's what I've got to say. If you want to enjoy your life, you know, like the panel said, let's begin to have the discussion. If they have to take it to the Igwe or whatever and talk about it.
Yeah.
And let's strike it out. If you have to strike it out to the benefit of everybody, let's do that. You know, I said something, sister, let me round up, Auntie B, that these are present youth, they are going to ask questions that the elders are ready to answer.
Yeah.
They will ask questions to their face. They are
Yeah.
not being rude. That's the way they are being brought up.
Yeah.
They are going to ask
Absolutely.
questions directly, and people are going to say, "You don't have respect." That is not respect. That is yes. That is the that is the main problem in Nigeria now. People are going to be asking questions. Even pastors, elders are going to be ask them questions. God will help us in Jesus' name. Thank you, my sister. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Brother
Bless.
Patrick. I appreciate your contribution. MPAC, you are next. Good evening and welcome to the discussion. We are talking about bride price.
Good evening, Atibe.
Welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for bringing out this topic. What I would like to say is that they should cancel anything that has to do with bride price. To me, it happened to me. I paid bride price, and sometimes I used to joke with my wife that if my wife sometimes when he want to behave funny, I say, "More behave now." I never pay finish. You know, I'm feeling like I'm the owner. That thing right price of a thing make men feel as if they own women, which is
Right.
not supposed to. If
Right.
if if white women or all these foreign women or others, you can't say that to them because they don't have that culture.
Right.
But within us, we use it jokingly. Sometimes, sometimes if I use it jokingly, my wife will say, "How much you pay?" But really, it makes us feel as if we own those women, and which is not good to me. Like I told my wife, I said I will never put any price on any of my child, any of my daughter. I will never.
Right.
Because she is ready to marry the man and they love each other. That is what I want. Putting a bride price, whether 20 naira, 10 naira, you're still paying something.
Right.
And the next thing is that those people that they did not even know when this child was growing, that does not even know
They
when
don't
the
even
parents
know.
took care.
The one that is paining me is that women, with the mothers that even carry pregnancy and do the labor, some big-headed children that their head is so big like this, to push them out, you go to Jerusalem and come back. We don't even enjoy the bride price. It's the men that mostly share it.
Were fighting for bride price that day, which was so annoying.
Mm.
Some because of the bride price, they came to the wedding, not because of the girl.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So your stand is that it should be abolished totally.
Totally,
All right. Thank you
totally.
so much. All right, we're moving on very, very quickly. I've got Olu in the building. Hello, Olu. You're welcome. What
Hello,
up?
Sister B. How are you?
I'm fine.
God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you for all you do. God bless you. This is my take on all this. To the glory of God, I've coordinated over 100 weddings abroad here and all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing I realized. There are some tribes that are still hard on this bride price thing.
Issue. Yeah.
In Yoruba tradition, most times this day, I coordinate the list with the bride's family. That is the list they send out because things are changing. It is in the olden days that people don't pay bride price again. We call it a token,
Mm-hmm.
maybe $100, just a token, just to appreciate the bride's family,
Yeah.
just to tell them thank you. I think we don't really need to make life difficult for younger people want to get married.
Right.
But there's one thing I noticed. There are two tribes that I know that are still hell bent on all these things to collect everything to the later. The Benues, the Igbos.
I didn't even know
What?
about the Benue one until tonight.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
shocked.
the Benues. They will
Mm.
have to buy up to basia. You know that big bowl, that
Mm.
basin. If you
Mm.
can't get the basia, you have to pay for it.
Wow.
They haggle as if they are buying a meat.
Wow.
That is how they haggle to do their bride price. Then in Igbo tradition, where the issue of abuse start from is this. When it's time for the traditional marriage, the woman does not have a voice. The mother of the bride will just sit there like a dummy. Sorry, pardon my word. She can't input anything. I went for one. The man did not allow me to speak for 1 minute. He said it's an insult in their tribe that when a man is talking, a woman must not talk.
Because it's
In this
the women that
Obodoyinbo,
coordinate. It's women that coordinate the traditional marriage in Yoruba land, isn't it? They are the
yes,
alaga,
yes,
alaga Ido.
it's all about the women. The wedding
Yeah.
of a child is all about the women in Yoruba land.
Right.
He said, I cannot talk. That is an insult in their tribe for a man to be talking and a woman will answer back. And I started thinking, it really, really bothered me. I started thinking, if it is like this, when abuse happens, what happened to the woman? We need a lot of things. I think the younger generations are not going to take this.
Yeah.
I'm a mother and my children will soon be getting married. The younger generation are not going to take. So we need to work on it now. We should appeal to our elders to work
In
to
the
do something
villages
on it.
especially.
Yes,
All
we
across
don't know.
Nigeria.
Those you see Igbo women 35, 40, they are not married because the men can't afford all those things. I saw a list and I was shaking like a leaf. Even in this Obodoyinbo.
They say some lists they are up to 10, 15 pages, 20 pages of things that
Yes,
you need
I
to
saw
buy.
a list. I think that one was 7 pages
That's
for a young woman
extortion.
here.
It's
Yes.
extortion.
Yes. So we
Thank
need to
you.
work on it. God will help us. Thank you very much for all you do. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. Esther, I'm going to allow you go because I can see that, it's like, I don't know why your name is Esther. I'm seeing a man. Why are you Esther? Why are you bearing Esther?
Hello, Sister B.
You're welcome.
I'm good. So anyway, my wife's that's my wife's name.
Okay, a lot of you use your
So
wife's YouTube to come in, but it's fine.
oh
Sister
yeah, she's your
Esther,
follower.
welcome. Oh,
She's a
okay.
devoted follower of yours.
Okay, you're
So
welcome.
I'm a Yoruba guy.
Okay.
So and I just want to contribute my own about this stuff we're saying. When it comes to bride price, my own opinion, I think it's personal. So for me, my wife is from Zimbabwe. According
Oh, really?
to Mr. Olu and my sister, I pay nothing.
You didn't pay anything?
No.
Really?
And I've been with my wife over 20 years now, with 4 kids. So the reason being, they asked, and my wife said no. And I wanted to, because this is cultural stuff.
Right.
And that is what defines who we are. And we shouldn't lose our culture based on certain elements. So, and as we know,
not necessarily.
Yeah, because everything human touch, they tainted it, right? So if we just look at individual and make it just like say, okay, I want to know you, you want to know me, and just exchange. I will say let's there be reform of bride price.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't say we should be taxing each other.
Right.
Okay, if we say we should pay bride price, how about the men? They were raised as well.
Let me ask you, Mr. Esther's husband. If your Zimbabwean in-laws told you to bring $10,000, would you have paid it as bride price to marry her? And you think your marriage would have been as happy as it is now after 20 years? You're still together and you're happy.
My sister, right? You know what is worth paying for, right? It's worth every penny.
So I mean, is women commodities that you should pay for?
No. It's the bride price is a gesture that will change.
Okay.
So my people, their people ask, and he said to them, okay, if you want him to come and pay, return everything he has been giving you. So they couldn't say anything again because he doesn't she doesn't believe in bride price. Right. So for me, I don't have much to say because I was denied that part, which I don't complain, but at the
You're
same time,
denied. Some people will be happy. It seems like you feel aggrieved that they didn't allow you pay.
so
Different
so
stroke for
no-
different folks. Hmm.
so I know the time is limited, but I would like you to let us say something as well.
Okay, our Zimbabwean wife, Esther. You're welcome.
Uh,
Oh.
Thank you,
Beautiful
Sister B. How are
woman.
you?
Thank you for marrying our brother. Oh, and you delivered him from
Your
paying bride
brother has
price.
been very good to me.
Oh, we thank God for that. We are lucky. We're
Yeah,
glad
but
to get
Sister
such.
B, coming to the bride price, I'll just talk quickly because I grew up in that culture whereby the bride price was exorbitant, and you find that no matter how the males are struggling, they'll still be requesting things that the males cannot afford. So
Right.
I had made up my mind from the time I was growing, sitting with my mothers when the bride price was being haggled in between a negotiation, like it was said. And I made up my mind that by the time it comes to my own turn, I wouldn't want that. So
Mm-hmm.
when my own turn came, my husband was very happy and willing because to him, it was a cultural thing that he takes pride in. But I told him, no, we're not going to do that. If you want to give something, you give something small, just as a gesture that we
Yeah.
are amalgamating our families. So
Right.
my family did sit down and they did ask for the bride price, but I stood in the gap and I said, no way, nothing is going to get paid at all. If anything, that money is going to be donated to an orphanage, or I'll take it myself to use it for me, but not for the thing that it's going to be. So in the end, nothing was paid, not a single penny at all, because
Wow.
we live abroad. But then you would see that before then we used to send money back home, and they will still accept this money. So when
Mm-hmm.
the issue came up and they were saying that they had their list as well, like they're saying, I said, before this thing is paid, all that money that you have accepted from me since I finished and I was working, he was my boyfriend, then he was paying part of it. Bring everything back and then we can start at scratch. So they couldn't bring anything back. So coming to that, yes, 20 years later, 4 children years later, I myself don't really believe in the exorbitant prices. I love the culture, but not the price tag according to it.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I have lots of cousins, younger brothers. I've never contributed a penny to their bride price. I tell them, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. I'm not contributing any penny to it. It should only be a token to say we are coming together and we're now one family, but not exorbitant price. I don't think it should be totally abolished, but I think it should be revised because the ceremony that goes around it is very beautiful, but the
Yeah.
price tag has ruined the experience. That's just my own take.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Esther. Beautiful woman, assertive woman, well spoken. I see why you told your family don't try. I can see it. Just talking to you briefly, I can see that you are a no nonsense woman. You told them, oh yeah, bring
Not
all
at
the
all.
money, you've chopped, bring it now, and they
I
couldn't
told him
validate
to
it.
bring it back because it was part
Mhm.
of his money when we were dating before he even said he wants
Exactly.
to marry. So
Yeah.
why were they accepting the money when now he wants to come to marry? They'll say they don't know him, but they were happy to accept the money when it was coming as a gift.
Yeah.
So it
Thank
shouldn't
you.
be like that. But I love the culture. I love the ceremony. All those like they were talking about bringing the wine, all that thing. My husband was not happy because he was denied that ceremony by me though. But then because if there was no money, they were not even willing to take
Take
part
the
in the
money from
ceremony.
him. Tell him to give you the
Yeah.
money he would
So
have paid to your family for dowry. You should charge him $10,000. He should give it to you. It's not too late. You've given him 4 children. After 20 years, yeah, he should give the money to you. Thank you so much, Esther.
all right.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you. Bye.
contribution. All right, bye, sweetheart. Thank you, Mr. Esther's husband. Appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much. Okay, we are moving forward and I'm going to be ending very soon. I'm going to Selena. Then I'll come to you. Good luck. Selena, you're welcome.
Hi, Auntie B. How you doing? Can you hear
I'm
me?
good, thank you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, and so I'm Igbo, and so I just wanted to point out some things. And the first thing I would say is that most times that list does not even go to the family of the bride.
Right.
Is the king red, the people in the family, people that have not even trained the child, people that were not even involved in the child's life,
Yeah.
are the ones that want to come and reap where they did not sow.
Yeah.
Then another sad fact is that if it's not done, they would now seclude the parents from some things. Like if they're having meeting in the village, they will not allow the parents to attend.
I see.
Because, yes, because the child did not pay the bride price. So they would
Wow.
try to, this our African culture. I always say that the Nigerian culture is just not fair. In fact, sometimes I say that the world is naturally not just fair to women. I don't know why it's this way. So they will find a way to seclude the parents from attending some things because they will keep saying that your child's husband has not come to pay the bride price. Though, you know, our culture can oppress people naturally. And I'm Igbo. So they'll find a way to oppress those parents until when the son-in-law comes to do something or comes to pay the bride price. That's just how the culture is. But one key thing I have noted, even from the panels, like I'm sorry, even from the panelists, like they all did a great job, is that the more educated a woman is, the more empowered she is. And that's what I always keep saying.
Absolutely.
Because I remember a panelist sharing the story about her friend that is saying that even if she wants to marry, they cannot afford the bride price. What of court's wedding, if I may ask? Because that was what I did.
How much are they going to pay?
I don't know. You have seen somebody that you love, that you want to get married to, and then you're saying you cannot marry because of culture. What of court's wedding? It's what of it that in the marriage? As long as you're sure that the man is a good man, you're sure he's not a Mongo Park that tomorrow
Selena, when people will start hiding their marriage, especially people who live in the diaspora, they will go and marry in court and hide it from their families back home. The time will come.
Because when I wanted to get married, I told my parents, I said, I'm doing court wedding first. They were talking, saying this. I said, I'm in America. So I said, I don't care. I want to do the court wedding first. Because it's me and this person that will live together as one.
Yeah.
Why waste so much money to feed people? The marriage that they'll give you certificate before you even start it. We don't even know how it will turn out. Then you now want to waste money. At the end of the day, after wasting the money, only God knows what would happen.
Yeah.
And you not see people in so much debt. You not see a man saying, I paid this, I spent this on wedding, I spent that on wedding. And so for what?
Yeah, you're right.
And so that's why I always say that the more educated a woman is, the more empowered she is. She can stand her ground and say, yes, the culture is beautiful. There's beauty in the culture. But when the culture is suppressing people, then it becomes something else.
Yeah.
Even though a man should not beat a woman, but even if the man pays 10 naira, if he's a wicked man, he will stand up beating the woman. But at the same time, so many men, even some men that would not pay bride price, they will still say, I own her. Because in the culture, it's like they're selling you out to the man because of marriage. And so I feel like the more empowered the woman is, she can stand her ground and say, we don't have that kind of money. She can stand her ground and say, let us do court wedding. It's still marriage. Let's do our church blessing. Whenever the man has the money, he can come and pay.
Do it. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate people who, they are not slaves to culture, but they can see it because you are rounded in your thinking, in your reasoning, and you see beyond tribe and culture. Thank you so much, Alina, for that. People are speaking up, and women need to speak up more because, like, somebody said they benefits men. So why should they cancel what benefits them? Especially those ones in the village. Those ones are the ones that are taking it and sharing it. Good luck, it's your turn, but let me just take this call quickly, please, on WhatsApp. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, can you mute your YouTube, sir?
Yes, my dear sister. My sister, God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
It's muted. I think it's muted now.
Yeah.
Is this making noise?
No, it's better. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. God bless you, my sister. Okay. What is being discussed, thank you for what you do, and God will continue to bless you for all the programs that you have been doing. If it's not every time, I always love to follow you up. Now, this issue that is on the ground, first of all, bride price or dowry is biblical.
Okay.
Just stay with me for a minute. It's very biblical. Genesis chapter 24 and Genesis chapter 24 and 34 talk about it briefly. Okay, it is biblical, it's moral, it's cultural.
Okay.
That does not therefore mean to say that people have to use it as a way to be able to extort people, to be able to get money out of people. Because when that is done, then most places they turn it to be like as if the wife becomes like their own property. That is absolute nonsense. It shouldn't be so. It's a biblical thing that should be done. What normally is done is maybe $5. Three weeks ago, I was called to come and do a traditional ceremony to bless because I'm a minister of the gospel. I said, my wife, we went there and they want us to come and do their traditional ceremony for their daughter. Now, when they brought everything, it was just $20. They put India inside of the container and everything. It's just a mark.
What culture?
Mark it. If you look through those scriptures, you will find out.
If you don't mind me asking, sir, what tribe are those people that you minister that that were getting married? What tribe in Nigeria are they from, or are they not Nigerians?
Okay, not Nigeria. It was Sierra Leone anyway. My wife is in Sierra Leone. I'm Nigerian, but my wife is in Sierra Leone as well.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that even from us, my father had more girls than boys. And all I knew was that my father would take 2 naira, 3 naira to say, I don't sell my daughters.
Right.
You understand? So it's supposed to be a token. Like it could be, it could be a token, a crate of drink or something. It shouldn't be a list that will make people to look like as if, hey, I have to. No. So I'm sorry, I know you are my equal sister and other beliefs that the people from Benue that they are talking about. It is them that are making it look like that.
Right.
They need to stop that.
Okay.
They need to stop that. The women are not for sale. We are all equal before God. And we're expected to love our wives as one with us.
Right.
Not to be treated like as if they are some stuff because I pay price for that, therefore now you become my property. No. So it shouldn't be abolished. It's biblical, but it should not be used as a thing for people to step upon women and begin to maltreat them.
All right.
Thank you
very much, sir. I appreciate your call. Thank you. So that uncle is saying that it's biblical and it shouldn't be, it's cultural and it shouldn't be abolished. And Gigi is here saying, because it's biblical doesn't mean it's relevant in today's world. Biblical history is based on Jewish culture. And I will add to that, Gigi, by saying that there are so many things that are biblical that we don't do again today. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, they used to kill goats and kill cow and they did a lot of sacrifices. We don't do that again today now. So, I mean, yeah. Okay, good luck, you and Ness. Thanks for waiting.
Good evening, Auntie B.
Good evening. What do you have to say?
Wow, I don't know how you're able to do all this, because even waiting here, I have headache already.
Oh, the
But
joy
you're
of the
doing
Lord
it.
is my strength.
Thank you very much. All right. First thing, I don't support the bride price practices. I am Igbo. My name is Chioma. I'm from Anambra State.
Okay.
But then I was born in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State.
Right.
We are all Igbo, but the culture differs a little.
Okay.
In Ebonyi State, if your bride price has been paid and you go there and you give birth to a child, if the marriage is not favorable, you have the right to leave that marriage because you have paid with a life. And your parents or whoever you're mandated to return a bride price because you have given a life to that family. That's one. And I really appreciate that because the woman can be free. When things are not going on well, she can say, you know what, I can't do this and I'm going. And nobody, no uncle, no father, nobody can say you can't go because you have paid with a life. That's number one. Number two is, if I, from Anambra, if I decide that I don't want my bride price to be paid, like that all this is rubbish, I'm going with the man, we can do court marriage, we can do whatever, and everybody can do whatever they want, that I don't care. That thing, I can do it now and move on and have children and do everything. But the thing is, by tradition and by culture, the children I'll have with that man belongs to my father, no matter what I do.
Yeah, I think I understand that part of the culture.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
And then if I choose
I don't agree with it, but I know about it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I believe that children should belong to they should just, it takes two people to create children. Your father didn't create the children with you, so why should they have your father's name? Whether you pay bride price or not, I don't agree with that aspect of culture, but I respect it. That's what I mean.
All right. So if the children, it is said that the children belongs to my father, and my father, and everything that I own belongs to my father, because I'm still my father's child.
Right.
Till my father hands me over to a new person, and that person takes over the authority.
Right. I understand it
If I
now.
have
Okay.
houses, if I have anything, if anything I have belongs to my father. But soon as he transfers that right to the man, even if he collects 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, 100 naira from that man, even if I own mansions, automatically they have transferred all of me to him.
You see, good luck. That's a problem for me. Because you see, we are talking about equality, and you see that the culture, you see, when there's a lot going on in Africa in terms of relationship and marriages, and we talk about abuse here every day. Can you, the way you've analyzed it now, I know you are talking about the culture, how it is in your hometown in Anambra State, but can you just see from your simple explanation how you are being transferred from your father to your husband? So
yes, that's what
when
I'm
do you
saying.
become your own person as a woman?
I am saying that in my culture, that's why I don't like the bride price
Yeah,
practices.
I know what you're saying, but I'm just trying to
Because
bring that out. Sorry.
yeah,
I know you don't agree with it, but I'm saying that this is also very unfair to women. So
yes,
technically, the culture
that's
is basically saying that as a woman, you are
you are
not any,
nothing.
you are nobody. It's either you
Yes,
belong to your father or you belong to a husband.
yes.
But you are an
And
individual as a woman. You are a human being.
yes. And the problem again is, even as a woman, in my father's house, when I talk, I am my father's child. As soon as they transfer that right, that man takes over. My family, in a way, not in many ways, in a way, they lose right to fight for me. Because the new man now feels like he owns me. You can see in Osinachi's case, the mother tried to question the man and he said, you know what? I owe you nothing. I've paid everything. And the mother could not talk because the father was not there. If it's man to man, father to child, he can say, this is my child. I don't care. I take my child back. You can do, he can fight. But whereby the father is no longer alive, and the uncle probably does not like the mother or does not like the girl or does not like anything, he can decide that, you know what, I am not returning the bride price. And that is it. You are stuck.
Yeah.
You are stuck. You can't do anything.
It's
So
the
it's
problem.
kind of, it's like a trap. And another thing that this does to women is that when they are discussing the bride price during the marriage, the mother, who is the mother to the girl, she's not even welcomed in the room where it is being discussed at all.
Yeah.
She has no right to say a word. She has no right to interfere. That's why when Osinachi's mother tried to talk, she can't talk because how dare you?
Yeah.
So it's really wrong in many ways. We
That's
need to
hair
stop
tracking.
it.
Yeah. It's
And
hair
you see,
tracking.
yeah, with my master's degree, with PhD, with whatever you have, the man that paid 10 naira on your head owns everything.
Hey, so it's owning again. You are talking
Yes,
about the owning. That's what we're talking
yes,
about.
they own
Owning.
you. That's why the abuse happens. They own you. You are
Right.
nothing. Your mother cannot fight for you. Your mother cannot say, my daughter. That's why when you run back to your mother, she will say, my dear, you have to go back. Oh, you have to do this because she cannot. And even if she insists and takes you away, no problem. You can move on. You can go to another man. You can have children with another man. But you know what? That man that paid your bride price, if that bride price has not been returned, even if you have 10 children somewhere else, they belong to him.
Yeah, we've established that.
So it's really like they have trapped us. We need to learn from. I'm saying that if we have to do it, because even if another thing, if my bride price is not paid today, and I have children and I live my life and I do everything with another man and I die, in the next 100 years, when things start happening to the great grandchildren, they will trace it back to the fact that their grandmother's bride price was not paid. The grandchildren will have to go and settle that before they can have their freedom.
So you
So
see,
my
this thing is
stubbornness,
deeper. It's deeper than we think.
yes, my stubbornness cannot help me. And the fact that you've gone to school, you are aware, you can do, it still helps you. It doesn't help you. So what we need to do is, we need to, like the other lady said, come together, go to the Igwe, plead, so that they will discuss it generally.
And it's men that will discuss it at the Igwe's palace.
And the Igwe, yeah, exactly. And the Igwe has the staff of
the women sit down in the Igwe palace to discuss.
No, we can cry out. But
no, I'm just asking for discussion purposes. Are there women
we're not allowed to come in. We can't be there when they are discussing it. That's the unfortunate thing.
Wow.
Because I know it for a fact, because my father is he's a titled man. He's also he's a chair, he's everything in my so. And the issue is, if your father believes in it, in that culture, and he doesn't care, no matter how much you cry, he would not return the bride price. And if he chooses to return it, no problem. The uncles, in my own culture, is even worse. They'll bring a broom, broom. They'll break it on the day they discuss the bride price. They'll break the broom. They'll give it to a child. They'll say, go to the bush or to the forest and throw it, scatter it everywhere. When you want to divorce that man, they will say, okay, you need to find that little boy we sent that day. The boy you don't know. You were not even there when they discussed it. To go and find all that broom and pick it up, even if it's 50 years past. And then you bring it back before we can discuss this.
Wow.
So it's a trap. They trap us and we cannot do anything. People are blaming Osinachi. There is a lot. You see, even Osinachi's mom could not help Osinachi. So people don't understand what had happened. And that man knew. That's why he quickly paid everything he had to pay. And he held her. And see, everything Osinachi ever worked for, everything she ever lived for, he took everything and she had no right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good luck. Wow. I don't know how I feel. I feel a little bit even more depressed just hearing the nitty-gritty of this of how this thing works in some cultures in Nigeria now. Thank you so much. Good luck. It's even more depressing to me. It's so bad. Wow. Women in these cultures are so, oh my God. They have no power, they have no voice. They're just powerless. It's either your father or your husband. Between the two, you as a human being, you're on your own. Wow. Okay, your internet connection is not good, I'm afraid. Yeah, your internet connection is not good. Can you reconnect? I know you are very staunch about your stand on it. I've seen your comment in the comment section. I want to hear from you, but you need to reconnect or check your connection. It's not showing properly. QJ, what do you have to say? I'm running up now.
I had to come on camera for this one. Good evening, sis.
Good evening, my sister.
Just like you said, I'm just so depressed hearing what that good luck lady just said.
Good luck broke the table. It's even more depressing.
She has completely floored me. And being in the UK, being a Yoruba woman who was born in the UK and bred in Nigeria, is just, I don't even know what to say anymore. I think it's all Chioma Mama, she's a great friend. She has said it all. That Dr. Ife has said it all. Katina Velino has said it all. Amolu has said it all. You, Seth, you don't say Amo. This whole thing about the preservation of our culture and heritage, we have taken it to, let me not say we, our ancestry has taken it to a level of demonic proportions. That's the summary. This is the summary of everything we've heard on here today. And I came back to the UK when I was 27. Did, primary, secondary, boarding school, university before coming here. So I've, kind of like lived that primary, that whole Niger lifestyle. I've lived it. I've loved it, for the better part, but not this crazy things I'm hearing today. It's filled with demonic proportions. But guess what? There's a power within each and every one of us. That's the God power. This God word, which the English people call God, which we call in Yoruba, Eleda, my creator, Eledami, the one who created me. We say Ori mi, Ori yomi, your head. God is your head is your Godhead. Your Godhead is your God is your head. Ori yomi, my head delivered me. In the head, you have your brain. That's the powerhouse of your mind, your thoughts, your aspirations, your dreams, your hopes, your values, these norms, and all the things you learn. It's in here. It's in here. And then from here in the head, that brain house, it goes to other parts, your heart, the things you feel, how you feel about injustice, how you feel about this crazy cultures and traditions that we're talking about today. Osinachi is a twin. My father is a twin. So when this thing happened, it just, gave me a lot of. I felt like the same way I felt when I heard about the NSAS brutal shooting at the Lekki toll gate. I could not sleep. I could not think straight. I was like, what is going on? And I believe that this incident of this Osinachi Ekweme, that's the surname I'm going to be calling. That's the surname I've given her. Ekweme is her surname. And I know that, it's an ode to God. It's a reverence to God, the word Ekweme. I'm not Igbo, but I believe, it means something, to edify your creator. I believe that God is using this as a clarion call again to remind us as Africans that if we don't repent and stop these evil things, these evil manners, these evil cultures, these
Culture and
evil norms,
tradition.
these
Yeah.
demonic values. Can you imagine the case of this boy in the college? The boy that they killed, the boy from the Ijaw tribe. This is a case of boarding school violence. The key word here is violence. These things are all rooted to that violent core. The core is violence. So either is domestic, either is the violence you witness outside of your home, be it outside of your parents' home or outside of your marital home. It's still the core of violence.
And
That
people
is the whole.
and people are still saying we should keep it. That is biblical.
And people are still saying we should keep it, and it's amazing. We are not saying you shouldn't have, a beautiful traditional and cultural gathering. I had one. I wasn't even there in person. I wasn't there. The first thing I did here in the UK, having my Nigerian mentality and my Nigerian thing, I said to the fiance at the time, what do we do? Okay, let's go to the registry here first. And the registry we went to here in the city of Coventry, a beautiful city. Marriage brought me to the Coventry city. I knew no one here. I had no family here. He was here doing his master's at the time. And to God be the glory, I used this city as my, I saw it as, a place of ministry in my head. So we went to the registry first here in Coventry. And once we did that, that was even before we started talking too much about, traditional stuff and all that. I said to my mother, do not stress yourself concerning this situation. When his mom called me to say, oh, with the cultural things we're going to be doing, with the kneeling down, his mom explained to me, his mom couldn't do all that, of when
Is he Yoruba as well, your
he's
partner?
Yoruba as well. He's Yoruba as well.
Okay.
The mother explained to me, oh, let's just, keep it, simple. And I said, yeah, I agree. I didn't even have any time for all this traditional nonsense that we're hearing today.
That uncle that called today, sorry, because of time, I'm interrupting while you're talking. I'm not trying to be rude.
Okay.
The uncle that called a few minutes ago that said that is cultural and is biblical is the one that is speaking now. He said, let's not forget that the white wedding is not culture.
That's fantastic. I agree with him. I agree with him as well. The white wedding, the word white emanates from, not just the dress. It also has a subliminal link to the white race. We have to remember that. And we appreciate all the beauty of all cultures.
Yeah.
We appreciate all the
question is
beauty.
that, is it not possible to have the traditional wedding, to have the traditional marriage without the bride price?
It's possible because that's what happened to me. We never had any bloody bride price. Sorry for the word used, but it's bloody because it's filled with blood nowadays.
And I said this comment, I don't know if you remember, there was a show you were having live, and we were talking about something, I think it had to do with abuse in marriage and stuff like that. And I remember putting in the comments that the whole concept of the bride price is a problem in itself. And someone replied and said, oh, the bride price is our culture, it doesn't matter. Someone
Culture.
replied
I
and
feel
said,
like people use culture to justify a lot of things.
exactly.
Once
I
it's
would have
culture,
preferred,
is
mhm,
right. Once
I
it's
would have
tradition,
preferred,
is right.
exactly. I would prefer that we even name that token that people talk about. People talking about, oh, it's just, my dad put 2 naira, 3 naira, something like a token. I would have preferred that we had a word called the gift to the bride.
Why
The
don't they
gift
give
to
the
the
money to the bride? Why how come they're giving it to
exactly,
all these people that
exactly.
are inconsequential?
Exactly. It would have been nice if it wasn't called prize, because even prize in the English context, when we look at the dictionary meaning, it means the payment for something. So we should really review all these, amazingly nonsensical things that we've been doing. Osinachi was a twin. Twins used to be killed. I love this comment by someone in the comments, JC Passion Blog. JC Passion Blog said something about the killing of twins, that why are we not still killing twins today since we used to do it before?
It's
What
culture.
happened?
Since it's culture.
So this is culture. Someone like Mary Slassel came and helped to speak against it, so that people like my dad will not be killed, so that people like Ocean at birth would not be killed. So when we talk about violence and the link to this research that people have confirmed have been done in the States, we have to stop being ignorant. For those people coming here and talking a whole lot of rubbish about culture, remember, you've got kids and you've got sons and daughters who are going to grow up and discuss these things as well. It's a continuous growth process for us as Africans. We have an amazing array of beautiful dance and drama and things we incorporate into the wedding with our traditional weddings. That's amazing. But we have to also be truthful about the demonic, the devilish, the greedy, the selfish aspects of the culture. And those are the things we have to speak out against. All women in Nigeria at the moment should be carrying placards. I don't care if it's a badge you put on your suit. I don't care if it's something you write on a bag. This has to be something that we all have to be proactive in speaking against. It's not just something fit for just YouTube or just for Twitter, open spaces, or for Clubhouse. It's something we should be doing on a daily basis and continually until that change comes. And that change, I'm afraid, cannot wait. That change can no longer wait.
That
No
change is
longer wait.
long.
If Chichi can
It's
help
long and
somebody pour oil,
protracted.
how
When
can you
even people
pour
who live in the
petrol?
diaspora still have a problem with it, and they are
Yes, how
supporting
can
it.
you pour
I mean,
petrol
it's
on
okay for you to
someone?
support it, but we are looking at the harmful aspect of it, because it's beautiful in some culture. Everybody keeps talking about in some cultures across Nigeria where it's no big deal because it's not much. But when it becomes something that is transactional, my friend Choma used the word repugnant.
That's beautiful. That's those words are like they were just giving me vibes when she
Yeah,
was talking.
so
Choma
when
is
you
lit.
have things like that, then shouldn't we look at it? Why are people so against change? Our people
Exactly.
resist any kind of progressive change. They don't like it. Especially, I see it now, I'm beginning to get some understanding, just by talking to some of these beautiful people that are calling, especially, our sister that just called and spoke about how deep this bride
Yeah,
price
the
thing
good luck
is.
lady.
Good luck talked about broom being broken and sent to the bush to
Broken.
fly away.
Can you imagine? That's a manipulation. Those are mental manipulation. Those are coercive control mechanisms to keep that woman in that place,
So,
whatever it is.
yeah,
So if
thank
you're
you
in a
so much.
violent situation, they would tell you to go back. Obviously, like someone was saying Osinachi's mother was helpless. And some mothers would say, oh, just foriti, just manage. Shall
Endure.
manage. Meanwhile, we have daughters. I'm not going to tell my daughter to manage, because I didn't manage when domestic violence came upon me. When it fell upon me, it was amazingly shocking, because even the abuser did not even know he could abuse. But as soon as that happened, as God will have it in my own case, God removed the thorn situation. And it doesn't mean I haven't forgiven him. It doesn't mean I don't love him as I would love a brother in Christ. I love him to repent. I love you from afar. That's the solution. You love from afar.
Yeah,
You
you
do
don't
not
put
love
yourself
till
in that
death.
situation. where
You
you'll
do
be
not love till
deleted.
death when you're facing any form of violent abuse. Financial abuse is a violent abuse.
Do you know what someone
Sexual
told
abuse is
me?
a violent abuse.
Let me just drop this before I let you go. I would love to listen to you more because of time, because we've done almost 2.5 hours, and I said this
Don't
show
worry,
will go on more
we'll
than two
talk in the
hours.
DM.
Because we need to
We'll
go.
talk in
I
the
need to
DM.
go. Tomorrow is Easter. I need to go and prepare for church.
We have chicken to
Right.
fry tonight.
Someone said that Osinachi's husband bought a Jeep. One of the voice messages that is flying around on WhatsApp, a friend who knows said the man bought a Jeep of 16 million naira shortly before the incident happened. And when he took her to the hospital and they were telling him to pay money, he said he doesn't have money.
Wow.
So now, with all the information that we're getting today, now I now see the power that was given to that man. He was
Honestly.
so powerful just because he married her and paid bride price. And I see the helplessness of a family like us and Ajay's family, whereby they are women. They only have a brother who is, a younger brother. He can talk. There was no
Oh my
father,
God.
no male, dominant male figure that can speak for them. So, and people still do not see that there's something fundamentally wrong in this culture. You come here and say, oh, you hate Igbo people. Why don't you? Did you see all the panelists? They are all Igbo except Samolu. And they are all
Samolu,
my
thank God we
friends.
even had Samolu.
And they are
They're
all my
all
friends
evil.
that I've known from a long time. Mongo Park people will always find something to attack you with, but I'm not bothered with that anymore. Anyway, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for talking about this tonight. We need more of these conversations. I'll
Yeah,
see you in the DMs. Thank you all. God bless you
thank
all.
you.
And God keep you wise to
Amen.
wash away all wicked ways. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, sis. Well
You're right. Take care.
spoken. Thank you. Selena, you are back. I took you before. You came back. I can't take you again because I need to go. What do you have to say? 1 minute. Unmute yourself, Selena. You were here
Okay, I'm
before. Did
coming.
you forget to say
Hi,
something?
Auntie B. No, yes, as in I forgot to say some things. Sorry, and that's why I just had to come back again.
1
Can you
minute,
hear me?
please.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like, I wanted to talk about what and the lady was saying, Good Luck was saying, and then I feel like if as Igbos we just keep spreading things like that, even to the younger generations, it's not even going to help at all. Like saying that they would give broom to somebody, a boy that is dead, and if anything happens, they will not ask you to go and look for the boy. Or saying that even if you do not pay the bride price, maybe like in the next 3 generations, they will now maybe even if maybe as in if
She's
something
talking
happens,
about
they will
her
now
hometown. She was talking about her hometown, Selena.
no, yeah, no, like it's like that in quite a number of Igbo towns, not just one town. It's like that in
Right,
quite a number of Igbo towns. But what I'm just saying is that with this new generation, we have to stop that narrative.
right.
Because if we keep believing or keep saying, this is what will happen, so you just have to pay the bride price. If not, in the next 3 generations, they will not come back
Yeah.
and say,
So
because you
you are
did
saying
not pay
people
it.
need to be more defiant of that, of all those.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Because if the younger generation, because like now, somebody's saying that the person will train that person's children to believe that same thing.
yeah,
And so if this keeps going on, how do we stop what we're saying is happening now? Because
yeah,
I have been thinking about Osinachi's death, and I've been saying to myself, even if they had women in that family, you mean that none of them could go to the police station for how many years? And she died. So now, as somebody has saying that because of the father is not alive, and the son that they have is the younger brother, that was why
Mm.
they stayed there. A
That's
man
what the
was
family said.
suppressing.
It's the family that said that. It's not somebody saying it. That's what they said.
But is it not so sad that now that she died, the family came out to talk? Why did they not?
Yeah.
Why did they not call the press conference since that she was alive? Why did they
Mm.
not go and drag out of there? I didn't know her family.
They were incapacitated. I
Auntie
see what
B,
you're
Auntie
saying,
B, I don't
Selima.
think they were Auntie B. I don't think they were capacitated.
No,
I don't
it's
because
easy for us to talk looking from outside, though. It's
Auntie
easy
B, do you
for
know
us
what?
to
Auntie
talk.
B,
But the
at
people
night I
in
have
it,
Auntie
it's
B,
not so easy for them.
Auntie B,
Oh.
at night I have said to myself, I've said who failed her? Who failed her? Was it the is it the minister in church that saw the husband slap her and did not say anything? Was it the
Mm-hmm.
twin sister that saw what she was going through and could not
Mm-hmm.
for one day call police for the man to at least report the case of domestic violence? Who failed her?
So if you want to talk about that, yes, Selena, I don't want to go into it because it will take us away from the topic. But if you want to talk about that, then we will also tell you that Osinachi herself, because of her stand in her religious setting and her church and her beliefs,
her
she also
mindset.
failed herself
She
and her
failed
children.
herself. But if you look
Yeah,
at it, the people around her failed her too.
yeah,
Because it's just like me having a sibling that I know that the husband is beating every day. I
yeah,
would go there myself and drag out that sibling.
yeah.
I will.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
So
Selena.
as in, so I just feel that for culture, we should not keep propagating or spreading all these things. The
Yeah,
thing now
let's
is that
let's
it
rebel
can be
against it.
abolished.
Yeah,
It can be
let's.
abolished. It can be
Hmm.
stopped. But if we
Yeah,
keep, because I know that in Igbo culture, yes, if a girl is not married and she gives birth to a child, they will say the child is for her father. Why? So when do I become my own person?
never,
When do I become my own person as a
never.
woman? So that
Mm-mm.
means now, then if the man comes, you now say, I'm handing over
But you saw what
this chair to
God,
you. Take
God,
this chair.
but you saw what our sister that just called said, that if they don't pay bride price, they will basically the people, they will in the village. You cannot come to meeting when they are doing things. You cannot go. They say
That is,
until your daughter pay bride price.
and that's what I'm saying, that it's the parents that will know how they want to sort out that one. But the way that me I see now is that the more empowered the woman is, she can stand her ground and say, I'm not going to do this. As
All
long as
right,
she's sure that the man is not Mongo Park, so that tomorrow
it
he,
won't work against her
he will not,
because
so that
if
people
you
will
go
not
and fight
say,
for Mongo Park, yeah, you're on your own.
it's true now, so that other people will not say, Shebi, we are fighting for him. See what he has done to you. So as long as she's sure that
Okay.
it's truly true love and that it's going to last forever by God's grace, then she should stand and say, no, you're not selling me. I'm not a commodity.
Thank you. I need to let you go, Selena, because you've spoken before and I need to go. And we got people waiting in the studio so that we can round up. Thank you. I see where you are coming from. You are taking a more radical approach, which is needed. Okay. I don't know why your internet is not allowing you to be great tonight. I still can't add you, I'm afraid. Can you go and come back? Adewale, you are next. Then I'll take a do. If
Even
K is able
MTV.
to connect, we'll take K. Good evening, my love.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I do. You're
Okay. So
welcome.
I'm just gonna thank you. I'm just gonna make it quick. I think one of the problem of Africans in general is that we believe that culture is meant to be stagnant. But culture is actually something that's supposed to develop over time. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be progressive. It's
yeah.
supposed to be like, even like if you go back like a century from now, back
Mm-hmm.
then, white women didn't have any right. They were just basically wives. But their culture, you know, grew over time. But in Africa, whenever we're trying to change certain things in our culture, there's always this huge
It's our
backlash.
culture. It's our tradition.
And
You want to change it.
most of these cultural things are not helping us at all. So I used to think that, because when I was in Nigeria, I used to think like bride price was a way of showing that the man and his family were serious about marrying the woman. But then I looked at it critically and I realized that it has become, or it has always been, a value added exchange driven by greed. There was this funny post, Common Sense Sisters, like Twitter post Common Sense Sisters shared, and it was this Igbo guy complaining on Twitter saying that he thought that he was actually going to get a share out of the bride
The
price
bride price.
God paid. And then he
Indeed.
realized that even his mom didn't even get one kobo
Yes, so
from the bride price, and he couldn't even go to those uncles and complain. They would say that his eyes are open and the guy they shiny eye, that kind of thing. So he just kept quiet and everything. I was like, what's the meaning of this? Like uncles that even the wife, the groom and the bride didn't even know. They would be there taking the money. Doesn't make any sense. They didn't even contribute to the growth and development of those kids, and they're just there to get the money. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So for me, I just feel like it should be abolished. If they should just replace it with something else. Like for example, in the Korean culture, they don't have bride price, but what they have is like the husband's family. They usually buy things like furniture or
Yeah.
electronic appliances for
Yeah.
the couple.
What can they contribute money for the man
Exactly. So they should
or
contribute
the
something that
couple to set up
goes
their new
towards the
home?
couple. Even some
Deep,
some of those,
deep
if the families
relatives,
are
they are
rich
there to
enough, they
collect.
if the families are rich enough, they even buy a house for the couple, so they don't have to spend money looking for houses. That's
Yeah.
progression. That's being progressive. You're helping the people. You're helping the people that are actually getting married. not taking money that is meant for some old uncles and aunties somewhere in the village. It doesn't help. It doesn't help the couple. It doesn't help the people that are being celebrated. It doesn't make any sense. So for me, I just feel like the whole thing, even if it's 10 naira, whenever you place the price on a human being,
Devalues them.
it automatically means that person is owned.
Yeah.
We buy things that we want to own. We don't buy things that we cherish. I mean, not cherish. We don't buy any human being. Once you start buying people or you start paying for something, you've reduced that person's value to just a common commodity, and that's not true. So even the 10 naira own and the 5 naira, me, I feel that the
All
whole thing
should
should be
go.
removed.
It should go.
Should go completely. It's not helping. It should go completely. So that's what I
Thank you.
wanted to say. Thank you for having me on today.
Thank you. Adewale for president. So I take it you are not going to marry an Igbo girl or Benue girl because you say you think you don't believe in a bride price. K Odudu, your internet. Oh, sorry. Can you change your network? Maybe you should go on a Wi-Fi if you're on mobile. Okay, Edu. Oh, you
Can you hear me?
are. Yes, I'm
Can
hearing
you
you.
hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I've listened to all the panelists. They all did a very good job, and every other person that has come in to say something. Um, I believe over the years I've studied this. I've written papers about it, and I've spoken to a lot of people, and I've had a lot of experiences. So, firstly, based on what the panelists talked about, Katia said something that I really um, believed to be very true. There's absolutely little or no correlation between bride price and DV. A monster is always a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that that's not to say that bride price should be put up very high, which I'm very much against. My father does not take money from um, anybody that's coming to marry any of my sisters. Uh, Perhaps maybe five naira, just for the symbolism. But one of my in-laws was one of these Mongo packs. It's
Hmm.
story for another day. Although
Right.
he didn't take anything, so it has nothing to do with the high bride price or very low bride price. So for me, I believe that culture is what makes us a people and must be honored. We must do things accordingly. We must honor our culture because the white people respect their culture a great deal. I mean, having lived here for too long, back in the day, I used to be very much westernized. When I studied different culture, as long as it's done in moderation, yeah, bright price. Me knowing
So
that
So your stand is that
they've got
bride
that.
price is not there's no correlation to with between bride price and DV, and as long as it's not exorbitant,
Yes, yes. If a woman,
your stand is that it should remain.
yes, if a woman, yes, if a woman asks me not to pay her bride price, if she's Nigerian, knowing that she's got a bride price culture, I wouldn't marry her.
Where are you from,
I
if you
would
don't mind
just
me
end it
asking? What
because
culture are you from?
I'm, I'm from Abia State.
Oh,
I'm from
okay. You
Abia
are you
State,
are you're an Igbo man. Okay. So you
and
say if a woman doesn't want you
I've,
to pay her bride price, you will not marry her. Wow. You really believe in it. And you are willing to pay anything that you are asked
I
to
will not
pay.
marry her because I mean here,
Let me
and
ask
you're
you, do
gonna
if you
spend.
go to somewhere like Umbuse that
I will
Katia was
pay.
telling us about, and they give you a bride price of maybe 15,000, $20,000, would you pay it?
They will not do that. There's no in Igbo land. There's no specific bride price. It's not
No,
there.
I'm just
See,
giving an
there's something
example.
called
If they do,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
giving an example. Would you pay it?
I'm trying to answer your question. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
answer your question. You know,
Yeah.
there's tradition and there's custom and there's kinsmen. It castigates down. The tradition is more or less the wider uh, part of people like Igbo people, and there's custom coming local, and then there's a kingsman. Now kingsman hijacks these things. If you're from a kingsman that have very bad people, that's where the trouble starts. I've studied the Igbo culture, and I will tell you that all my poor relatives got married, and some of them got married in those places where bride price is so high. How could they get married? Because these kingsmen, they've seen this guy, they knew maybe he's not making enough much money, and they had to let their daughter go. So for someone to say that, oh, that Igbo ladies get so old and they don't marry, is not true. That is not because of bride price. This men, they know that, oh, this guy is maybe a farmer, he's
But
poor.
if you don't have money to pay, then how do you marry then? If you don't have money to pay
They,
and the bride price they're asking is
the thing,
high.
they still marry. What they do is you just show yourself, come with your people, and then they will decide, okay, maybe you would maybe do basic small things, and they say, okay, when you get rich in the future,
You come
you
back
can come back. Yes.
and pay the
So
rest. So you are
these
owing.
things are just, yes. So everybody gets married in Igbo land. You understand? So
Okay.
it's just about finding balance. I mean, I've
Okay.
had, even with the white culture of ring. We should
Mm.
talk about that one too. Our tradition is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with our tradition. But when you have this corrupt, mean, greedy kingsman, that's where problem
Mm.
starts. The problems I've had with rings, back in the day, I remember I wanted to marry this girl in America. The ring she sent for me to buy, $16,000. That's a
Mm-hmm.
ring,
That's her own bride
engagement
price.
ring.
That's their own bride price.
Engage,
Well, I thought you believe in bride
engagement
price. Why
ring.
did you pay
We
her own
shouldn't even
bride
talk about
price?
that one. Now, a friend of mine,
Oh my God, I can't laugh.
yeah, a friend of mine, he was just girl. He was running around to get the ring. Man, this guy wanted to get a ring, $5,000. He didn't have it. He was asking us, please, loan, loan.
Yeah.
We should also accept cheap ring any longer. So we shouldn't just say our culture. There's nothing wrong with our culture. Then I remember my friend, an Afghanistan guy. He had to borrow. He was on my neck. I promised him $2,000. He said he needed $15,000 to get married in Afghanistan. Then you buy gold, buy this, buy that, and they love their culture. They don't kick
There's
against their culture. And he later did it.
I hear you, Edu. I hear you. And I take
Yeah,
some valid points about what you're saying that, okay, so what we said as the panelists was that thank you very much for your contribution, by the way. I'm going to end now. Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate you. And I'm
yeah,
just going to give some feedback regarding what you said. Thank you very much for joining in.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
what my take on what you said so far is that you're saying that culture is culture. We shouldn't abolish it. What about the white culture? What about rings that are expensive and all that? Okay, I agree with you. You're saying that, oh, there's no correlation between DV and high bride price. Actually, there is. There is. Okay, but let's leave that. But what you were saying also, I also take on board what you're saying, and I agree with you that, some Mongo parks, whether they pay or not, if they want to abuse, they will. Okay, so that's also true. But what you said about if you're going to marry a woman and she does not agree to bride price, you will not marry her, makes me laugh because now you are saying that you wanted to marry an American woman, she sent you a ring that was 16,000. What? Shebi is their culture. You are an advocate for culture. So this is the white people's culture. So if you are marrying an American, they say bring 15,000 ring. That is their culture. If you agree that the culture in your hometown is solid, there's nothing wrong in it, then you must also accept other people's culture because that's their culture. It's personal to them. So it seems to me like it's double standard. If you are saying you cannot buy a ring, it's too expensive, and you are saying there's nothing wrong in our culture. So maybe you should reflect on that. Okay? Because that is their own culture in America to buy expensive ring. They don't have bride price. Okay? So, and you are a person that believes in culture. So, but I'm going to go with what Sister Gigi is saying here, that there are some barbarism in our culture that needs overhauling. That's true. There's nobody that doesn't love culture. Even women, as much as we fight against it, because most of the culture, religion and culture is largely oppressive to women. But we still love the culture. And I'm not saying that I don't love our culture. I love my culture. If I show you my traditional marriage, what's it called? And when I was doing my traditional marriage, you will see it was beautiful. I dressed in my Edo outfit and everything. And, but our bride price is very, very low. So it was little or nothing, and they will give it back. So culture is beautiful. There are beautiful aspects of our culture we should keep. But I don't understand why a lot of men fight against adjusting it, looking at it. Let's keep the good part, and the part of it that is not good, then let's examine it. That's what we are saying. I think we should look at it. We need to examine it. We shouldn't say because it's culture, we must keep it at all by all means. Look at it holistically, right? Because you might be able to afford it, okay, Edu, because you live in the US, you have the means. And you are saying that even people who are poor, they get married because if they cannot afford it, that the family will make adjustments for them. But they can, somebody who lives in Lagos, for instance, that cannot afford those kind of huge bride price, they can tell them, Shebi, you live in Lagos, go and bring 10 million naira or 5 million naira, whatever, that he doesn't have. So because he favors you because you can afford it, doesn't mean everybody can afford it. And women, we are the ones that, do we have a say in all this? Do we even have a say? Because now we that they marry, we are the ones that the so-called bride price is being paid for. Please give this video a thumbs up. I've been here for almost 3 hours now. If you've enjoyed this conversation, you appreciate the quality people that I brought tonight to have this conversation with, to have this chat, please give the video a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up, guys. We have very, very few thumbs up. Give it a like. So in summary, I'm just going to say that I think women should have a voice about this thing. Most traditions and cultures all across Nigeria are highly oppressive to women. If you are saying that the bride price is for us, shouldn't you have a say about whether we want it or not? A lot of women are saying, I don't want it. So is our voice not valid? I think it is. It should be. All right. I think it should be. So I'm just going to summarize by saying that we are having the discussion about bride price. And a lot of people, out of all my panelists, I had Choma, I had Katia, I had Ifi, I had Samolu, and myself. The only person that said we should amend it and make it uniform was Katia. Okay? Samolu is all against it. Abolish, do away with it. Choma was saying, let's abolish it. Okay? And if you were saying, I don't believe in it, let's cancel its culture, but it's culture that needs to be looked at critically. I did a video once upon a time, and I'll link it to this video if you guys didn't see it. And I was saying, what is wrong with bride price? Because I didn't even know. I'm looking at it from my very narrow experience of getting married and my sisters and people from my hometown. And I know that we don't pay bride price like that, How much did they take? They wouldn't give you the money back. So I was like, I don't think it's harmful. But it is in some cultures, like in Benue, like in Zimbabwe. Samolu's brother was made to cough out from 10,000. He negotiated to 6,000. So that's not, it's not everybody. Some people, it will make people to miss out on the kind of people they want to marry. And there is a link between paying high bride price and DV. Whether you like it or not, the statistics are there. Okay? So I'm just going to summarize by saying that what Choma said about certain aspect of culture that is repugnant. Bride price is transactional. And we are saying, let us look at it. It is time to abolish it. I've changed my stance on it. There is a link between it and DV. Some families cannot afford to repay the money. And as a result, those women are made to remain. And some Mongopas still capitalize on it and say, Shebi, I don't pay. I've paid, so you've got nowhere to go. If the families cannot refund the money, then it becomes a problem. If they cannot refund the money, even if the woman leaves, she'll go and marry another man, or she'll go and live with another man, and her children will still belong to her previous, her ex-husband. I don't understand it. There is a lot of confusion in it. And I feel like people who don't even have a say in your life, people who don't even contribute to your life are the ones that are always the loudest and the ones that will be shouting up and down. Bride price, you must pay. The one that will sit down and be determining Women, we have a voice now, please. We have a voice now. This is 2022, 2022 we are in. It is not 1940 or 1950. It is time they start putting people in those palaces where all the chiefs and the kings, all those kings and village chiefs are. Men should not only be the people that are making decisions for the whole community, because the decisions that they make affect both men and women. How come women are not part of this decision making? There is a lot of gap when you talk about, culturally and traditionally. Most of the cultures are so oppressive to women. You don't speak when we are speaking. It's only men that will sit down and make the decision. It's only us that will discuss. What about the women? They are the largest percentage of the population is women, but they have no voice. And unfortunately, people don't see anything wrong in it. Our culture is beautiful. Our culture is nice. Yes. I love all our cultures across, but we need to amend them. I rest my case here. Bride price promotes patriarchy. It promotes abuse because some Mongo parks capitalize on it. And I'm not saying that it's every man that pays bride price that is abusive. It should have been something that is meant to be a symbol, but also it is bringing a lot of problem. And women are saying, we don't want it. We don't want it. Men saying, after all, I paid. And in some cultures, they are saying the more educated the woman is, the more you will pay. So a woman like Ife, who is a doctor, she's got a PhD. Then now, if she's not looking at it and saying no, then they will be saying you have to bring so much money, depending on where she comes from. But thank God she said, she's from Anambra State, or I don't, and maybe she can convince them to say, okay. But if women cannot even talk, where the negotiation is being done, you cannot talk, then you just sit down. It doesn't benefit anybody. Who does bride price benefit? You say it's culture, but who does it benefit? Is it the man that is getting married? Is it the woman that is being married? Is it the parents of the bride and groom? No. Is it the parents of the groom? No. It doesn't benefit the immediate people, which is the bride and the groom and their parents. It benefits the house, the extended, family that doesn't even, most of them don't even know anything about this couple. So I think we should start looking at those conversations. Women in communities across Nigeria need to start shouting and making noise. We don't want it anymore. Give the money to the young couple. Let them start their life with it. Let them start their life with it. And brothers, please, don't say you will not marry somebody because they say they don't want bride price. And women, please don't boast with your bride price. That's so 90, 70. How are you going to be boasting when you are basically being sold? It's an exchange. Even if it's not physical exchange, it's trade by barter. I give you this, you give me my daughter. Don't boast about bride price. I think we need to change it. We need to do better. Yeah, it benefits the kinsman. It doesn't benefit the man. It doesn't benefit the woman. The people that are getting married does not benefit them. So, yeah, I hope somebody will be able to take one or two things away, and this will help. But we'll keep the conversation going. In the comment section, please leave me your thoughts. If you are watching this on playback, what are your thoughts about bride price? Do you agree that is making someone go back feel that women are property? Is it contributing to DV? What is your experience if you've left a relationship as a result of DV or other issues with returning or not returning bride price? I would like to hear your thoughts on this. Leave me your thoughts when you are watching this on playback. Give this video a thumbs up, guys. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I wish you a happy Easter. I pray that the death and the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ will bring us peace. It will bring us good health. It will bring us blessing. And for those of you who are Christians in the house, I pray that God will bless you and God will bless every one of us. And His resurrection will not be in vain. The blood that was shed on the cross of Calvary for the remission of our sin, that it will not be in vain. It will bring us redemption. It will bring us good health. It will bring us long life. It will bring us prosperity. Let us continue to look at culture, tradition, every aspect of our life that doesn't serve us. It's okay to abolish it. Brothers, please stop holding on to it. Let it go. Let it go. We reform laws. We reform legislation. Why can culture not be reformed? Why can't we look at it and say, okay, this one, let's leave it? It is time to make changes. If you've enjoyed this conversation tonight, you've enjoyed this live stream, give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much. And if you are not subscribed, you are here watching, you are not subscribed, you don't love what we are doing here. That's what it means. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Subscribe is free of charge. YouTube does not charge. Put your notification on so you get notification whenever I will post a video. Thank you all so much. I will see you guys in my next video. I love you. Have a nice Easter. God bless you. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all my panelists. Choma, appreciate you. Dr. Ifi, Sam Olu, thank you so much for being here. Katia Avelino, God bless you. Katia is she's a YouTuber as well. If you are not subscribed to our channel, please do so. God bless you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and have a happy Easter. Bye, guys.